Eagles. Eagles.
Welcome in, everybody, to a Thursday edition of Birds 365, our 1001 episode here for the next 1,000 of kicking off here on Birds 365. Johnny Mac, how you doing in this Thursday morning, brother?
Doing well. Hopefully we can turn the page to the draft. Obviously, still some the name that shall not be spoken stuff. People can't get over it. Yada yada yada. I'll let Jeff Kerr deal with that. I am pushed out.
Johnny Mac was fired up pre-show, everybody, about this.
Pushed out. Yeah, one thing I always say about debating, if your premise is wrong, you're lost. And your premise is wrong for all those butthurt. You're arguing from a faulty premise. You've been bamboozled. That's how I describe it.
Bamboozled. Where is that from? Isn't there a famous movie or a line that's from?
Yeah, Malcolm X, famous speech.
Yeah, right. Yeah, good stuff there, Johnny Mac.
Which people get upset that I'm but you've been bamboozled. You've been bamboozled. Warren Sharp. I will say one thing. Warren Sharp, because he's been out. And by the way, used to work for the Eagles. Sharp football analysis, used to be a consultant for the Eagles. He doesn't hate the Eagles. And even I didn't know this. But right here, to point out how you've been bamboozled. Over the entire history of the Tush Push, which is basically 3 seasons, the Eagles aren't even the best short yardage team in football. They're number 4. The Los Angeles Rams are number 1. Kansas City's number 2. Denver's number 3. Philadelphia's number 4. Great. Phenomenal. Still great.
Right.
Very effective. They're not even number 1.
Is this thing all about just TV, John? I mean, seriously, at the end of the day.
Yes. People have, they've been bamboozled. They've been told. It's been marketed. It's got the catchy nickname. Couple of them. You've been bamboozled. Even the Eagles have embraced it and talked about how hard they worked at it and blah, blah, Nick and all that. And
by the way, they said they invest a lot of resources in the Tush Push.
Well, and by that he means we draft a bunch of offensive linemen.
Right.
And that's what he's saying. And if you want to invest those resources, dummies, you can do it too. Well, you also need the quarterback part of it. But anybody can invest those resources into those types of players if they want. But, I often talk about the Eagles' success and people copying the wrong things. And where they should start the copying is offensive line, number 1.
Yeah.
But they don't. And that's what Jeffrey was talking about. But anybody could do it. But, Warren, as I said, used to work for the Eagles. He certainly does. If he does have a dog in a fight, it's the Eagles. But he's honest. And yeah. I was too hard on the Rams. The Rams are a good football team. And I've admitted that because I was down on the Rams. And now in hindsight, they gave the Eagles their toughest challenge by far, if you think about it in the playoffs. Yeah. And they're a really good team that has one really big weakness. And obviously the Eagles, to their credit, were able to take advantage of it. And yeah, over the last 3 years, they're number 1 in short yardage situation. And ironically, because I knew that, and I talked about it when the Eagles played them, Kyron Williams was very effective in short yardage.
Yep.
And the Eagles forced him to fumble twice.
Yes.
In big situations. In the first game, they were going right down the field and driving for a score, and they converted. And all of a sudden, the ball pops out. And I think that one was Zach Vaughn. And then in the playoffs, it was Jalen Carter. You remember the Jalen Carter punch?
Yeah.
So
they were incredible at that punch out last year, Joe.
Yeah, they were.
Yeah,
they were. And that's another, they should take pride in that. So the Eagles are very good at short yardage. Don't get me wrong. But they weren't number 1. And last year, they actually took a pretty significant step back. as Jeffrey Lurie already confirmed as well. And yet they had the best team in football. And there's so much stuff to be proud of with this team. And that's the focus. And from there, Jeff Kerr, get here as early as possible because
see, we're gonna have Jeff Kerr on today, as Johnny Mac just alluded to. John, why does this bother you so much? I know, is it just because of the misinformation?
Yes.
Boozling? Is that what's driving you up the wall about this? Because even pre-show, Johnny Mac came in hot again today.
Completely. The misinformation is insane. Insane. And again, when you start a debate from a faulty premise, it's never going anywhere. So you have this whole group of fans that are convinced that this is a perfect play, that this never fails, even though they've seen it fail. And it could be for different reasons. Could be for jumping off sides, could be for lining up off sides, could be for Kelsey trying to steal a little bit too much back in the day, getting called for a penalty, for manipulate. There's a bunch of different reasons than somebody actually coming up and stopping it, which Jacksonville, I believe, did. Not too many teams did when they actually got the ran to play, but a few did. And the number was under 80%, which is, you think about 86% is their 4th and 1 conversion rate over the last 3 years. They were under that last year pretty significantly. So yeah, when you start with a faulty, you're swimming upstream, and everybody's starting with this nonsense because they've been fed it,
right?
Because it's a marketing ploy. And then when you get to the reality of the situation, like, nobody gives a shit that the Rams are good on short yardage, do they? I don't know. I've never heard it.
I've never heard it. I've literally never heard it.
And then there's the baked-in aspect of jealousy, which certainly when you win the title, people are ask the Patriots.
Right, yeah. You
ask the Chiefs.
The big dogs, exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, for years you heard about the Chiefs. The referees are all everybody's jealous. Of course they're jealous. That's baked into it if you win the title. But that's not what the NFL is doing. But, whatever. Just stop going on believe what you want to believe. Listen to the charlatans. I don't care. But I will say, if you listen to this show, you knew what was going to happen before it happened to this point.
Yes, that is for certain. I mean, you've been telling me exactly as this played out. You had it way in advance on the whole thing.
And by the way, there's no guarantee. I strongly believe they'll get 24 votes in May, but there's no guarantee they'll get the 24 votes. Now, everybody else is on that bandwagon. I saw Schefter, believes it. All right, great. So it's real now. If you were listening to the show, you already knew it.
It's about the TV. They don't like the TV. I mean, let's be real. It's an ugly-ass play on TV. I think that's what it's about. But maybe the medical thing, they brought in Alan Sills to convince everybody that there's medical issues.
Well, the medical part, and again, the medical part of it is sort of in their back pocket. Anytime they want something, they bring it out.
Yeah, I think they're just using that, though, to scare. I mean, look, because you're going to have owners who believe their vote. There's maybe owners who believe the other way, and then there's probably the middlers, right, who are like, I can be swayed one way or the other. But what's the best way to sway them, John? You tell them their pocketbook's going to get hurt, and boom, they're done. They're voting against it.
That's my cynical nature, and that's why I think I'm good at this stuff, because I'm more cynical than most people. So I ask the questions, and it's just like politics. So what they're doing behind the scenes is they're twisting arms and lobbying to get the 8 extra votes. And how is the easiest way to do that in the NFL? Yeah, I said it numerous times. Bring up the safety issue. It's the easiest way to do it. But for the real reason, and nobody can be 100% certain of why Roger Goodell wants it done or why Roger Goodell got on board. But yeah, my educated guess would be they just want to play. They just want pushing out of the game. And that's their own fault for bringing it back. That is their own. I've been talking about this. If you want to know why I'm frustrated, since the Tush play in college, literally, and I think that happened. I'm looking it up right now. 2005. That same year is when they took it out. They took it out of the game. And I remember talking about it at the time. I go, are they insane? They don't want this bullshit in their game. And it took way too long. But now they're where they are. And that was one of the most famous games in modern college football history. The USC, look it up, the USC Push game, where Matt Leinart was stuck at, the game was over. Notre Dame had upset. USC was number 1 in the nation at the time. They stopped him at the goal line, and a whistle never blew. And Bush just came up and pushed the quarterback into the end zone. And it just looked awful. It looked awful because for years, even whether it was on the books or wasn't on the books, and again, longtime football fans understand this, maybe not the modern generation who've only been watching it. It used to be consistent that when your forward momentum was stopped, they would stop the play. The whistle would blow. And for years, you had a whole group of football who grew up that way, and that was it. Play's over.
Yeah, it used to be where they spotted the ball, like where your forward momentum stopped.
Exactly.
All that stuff. Right.
Exactly. That was the end of the play. And for some reason, they kept letting it go and letting it go and letting it go to the point we are where we are now. And yeah, I think it was a mistake. And now, by the way, when they do get this passed, and if it's not going to be passed, and I've said it pretty consistently, they're going to get it passed. If it's not this season, it'll be next season. Eventually, they're going to get it passed. And again, pushing as a whole, not just the tush push. And I promised I wasn't going to talk about it, and here I am talking about it.
Yeah, you broke your promise.
And, now you have a more difficult problem the NFL has, because now they have a whole generation of fans who only know it one way now. And they're going to be incensed when they start stopping plays and saying, oh, play's over. Because that's not how you do it. So they create these own problems. I hardly feel sorry for the NFL. They shouldn't have let it.
You've talked about the over legislation of the NFL, John, since I met you, since I first heard you on the air.
Yeah. So, I mean, yeah. Yeah. So, in 2005, so for those who don't know, the Bush play, you should if you're a college football fan and you've been around a little while, was technically an illegal play at the time. They basically, it's sort of like their version of the tuck rule. They fucked it up. They didn't want to admit they fucked it up. So all of a sudden they pretended you're allowed to do it. But the rule at the time was the runner shall not grasp a teammate. No other player on his team shall grasp, push, lift, or change into him to assist him in forward progress. By the way, Roger Goodell, if you're listening, there's your language. Use that language. But they let it go, and they didn't want to admit they made a mistake in the biggest game of the year because USC was the number 1 ranked team. They were the best team in the country. Notre Dame at the time was top 10, whatever. Big game, big situation. Bucked it up. didn't want to make a mistake, and here we are all these years later.
Yep. Unintended consequences, Johnny Mac. It's part of it, but good stuff there. We'll move on. At least we'll try, because I know you want to get Jeff Kerr to sound off on this. I'm curious to hear what Jeff Kerr has to say. He's been covering the Phillies. Great start for the Phils. Any Phils fans in here listening to the show? 4-1 for the boys. They're hitting good. They're pitching good. Wheeling and dealing. So, yeah, good start for the Phillies.
The rain has started, though, today. Are they playing today? I don't know.
They're playing at 1 o'clock today.
Oh, that's not good.
Yeah, so hopefully there's no rain. But
yeah, and for all the Phillies fans out there, just don't pay attention to the Dodgers because it'll depress you.
Well, Dodgers are coming to town soon.
Yeah, it'll depress you.
We'll see, man. But did you see Ohtani had a walk-off last night?
Yeah, they're 8-0.
Yeah, they're unreal. 8-0 already. Let's see, though. It's a long season in baseball.
Well, there's always injuries. They're a very old team, so that's what you got to
I feel like they got so many players, though. Even if they lose a couple people, they're going to be all systems go. But we'll see. Phils look good, though, so good stuff there. We're going to talk to Jeff Kerr, who's been covering the Phillies, so good stuff from him. And we'll talk to him. John, speaking of the Phillies, Vic Fangio was at the game last night. He's a big Phillies fan, and I think he said to Johnny Clark from NBC that he's friends with the manager of the Rockies. So he always goes over to the stadium when they play versus him. And he spoke a little bit about the losses on defense. He spoke a little bit about, the retirement of Brandon Graham. But I thought it was interesting. He said, yeah, we've lost a lot of guys. We've lost – not only did we lose the starting guys, but we lost the backups to those starting guys. And I'm going to be putting pressure on Howie to get this going because we need to recoup some talent that we lost this year. But he said, we'll find a way was the word he used. We'll find a way. Yeah.
Well, that's the way, Vic. The Eagles have a lot of confidence in them, and they should. Yeah. After you see it, you go, Oren Burks is the guy to me who was so good in the playoffs. I mean, there's a long history of Oren Burks being a pretty good backup linebacker and a great special teams player. But, you don't have to go back very far to see the Super Bowl the year prior when Dre Greenlaw got hurt and Oren had to come in for the 49ers. And they just abused him.
Yeah, I mean, completely. The entire Super Bowl changed when that happened.
Yeah, and it's like, Vic gets more out of people than most. And I go, and he's going to get more out of people than. So part of it is that, like if you put. I got a 6-7 year sample size of what Oren Burks is versus four games. And I'd rather have Jeremiah Trotter Jr. So I think the Eagles made the right decision in that example. And I have the coach to take a young player to the next level. So I think they've made good decisions. Isaiah Rodgers is a player that I think Vic got a lot out of. And we'll see if he could do it elsewhere. Now he's going to get an opportunity to step up and be a starting corner. Another very good defensive coordinator. But, he's got a Dory Jackson now. I'm comfortable with that.
I like Adoree. I've been saying I actually think he's one guy that has maybe a better chance to start than a lot of the other Temu signings.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. But that would be not what the Eagles want, but I agree. Right.
But if they need to do it to prevail to win games, they're going to do it, right?
Yeah. And definitely Vic is going to play who he wants to play. Right. I'm not talking about the starting pit. Look, I think there's a significant downgrade from Slay to Ringo, from Sweat to Hunt, from that, and that's penciled in. I don't believe Jalix Hunt will start when it's all said and done. But even if you want to go to Ojulari, from Williams to Moro Jomo, all those are significant significant step backs, and the Eagles know that. And that's where the draft has to come in, and player development has to come in. But probably in the short term, you're going to take a step back at those positions.
I want to ask you.
Long term might be the opposite.
I want to ask you, because you've taught you always educate people on the odds of things and probabilities and stuff, and I think that's a good way to approach it. But I'll say one thing I picked up on listening to Jeffrey Lurie yesterday. He mentioned maybe one or two of these guys can be this year's Zach Bond. He said that.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying the organization has that approach or that's even Howie Roseman's thinking. Maybe it's not. It probably is not, if we're being real. But, boy, Jeffrey Lurie said that, and I immediately thought of you. And I'm like, Jeff, you might want to talk to John, who will tell you that is a very slim chance based on the probability of it. But, you don't get the sense that
I haven't heard
too much stock in this, are they?
You know how good Zach Bond was last year? I haven't heard Kevin O'Connell at the meetings talking about Isaiah Rodgers. So, I was doing a story because he spoke very highly about Isaiah. And he had mentioned that Brian Flores, who's my favorite defensive coordinator, even more than Beck, just because of the way he plays. I think Beck's better. Let me make that clear.
What do you like more about Brian? I've never heard you say
I just like the way. I just like the way he. I like the style. It's unique. Nobody else does it.
Right.
I just like it. He's
a little unpredictable. It's good. It is good.
He's ahead of the curve. It's not about Vic is the best defensive coordinator in football. I'm talking about my preference. I just like it. But he's also very good. I'd put Flores top 5 at worst. And he was talking about Isaiah Rodgers, and he brought up Zach Bond. I'm like, why the fuck is he bringing up Zach Bond? And he's like, Flores thought Zach Bond was going to be a star. And I'm like, wow, that's because he did nothing basically. Right. But part of this is Jeffrey, and I bring up him. Part of this is hindsight. Like, one thing I respected about Howie did not spike the football on Zach Bond. He's like, this is why I brought him here. I had no idea he was going to be a first-team All-Pro.
Right.
So I think a lot of it is hindsight. But, yeah, when you're talking about odds, you might find the next Zach Bond, but that part is hard enough to find the next Zach Bond, who has played in the league for 4 years. New Orleans had him under their nose and didn't realize what type of player he was. Obviously, didn't have the opportunity. That part, to find that player is hard enough. To get him for $3.5 million on top of it, those generally, you might have a guy with a huge upside and people know it, and they may be stuck behind a great player in a different situation, but they'll give him a lot of money, because they know he's got potential. Like, nobody knew about this guy. And with all due respect to, I believe Brian Flores said this guy's got some potential. But, the whole thing, and ironically, that's the team that signed Andrew Van Ginkel. And ironically, the Eagles wanted Andrew Van Ginkel. And Andrew Van Ginkel was freaking phenomenal last year. Was a second-team All-Pro. And that's what the Eagles wanted to replicate. The Eagles had some concern. Van Ginkel was coming off in Miami, was coming off a Lisfranc injury. So the Eagles had concerns over the health. He's a very expensive player. They knew they weren't going to be able to see him run until later in the summer. So they didn't want to take the risk from a health standpoint. Otherwise, Van Ginkel would have been here. Trust me. Vic loves him. Eagles loved him.
Right.
I mean, they would have went full bore if it wasn't for that injury. And by the way, like I said, it's a phenomenal player, phenomenal season last year. And they said, you know what? But he's a different type. He's not an all-ball linebacker. Can play all-ball linebacker. but he's a hybrid off-ball edge guy, more of an edge guy, more of a pass rusher. And he's also a great flat defender. You saw the pick, for people that watch other teams, they saw the pick sixes. He's probably the best flat defender in football. That's a big part of what Vic likes to do from his pass coverage, from his edge rushers. So he loves Andrew Van Ginkel. And they were trying to replicate maybe Zach Bond, who ironically is good friends with Andrew Van Ginkel. They both ended their college careers in the same, they're both Wisconsin guys. So weird. And they were trying to replicate by signing Zach Bond. They were trying to replicate what Vic had in Miami with Andrew Van Ginkel.
Right.
And then Vic got him and said, no, I think he's an off-ball linebacker. And the rest is history. But Howie is very, honest. He's been, like I said, he's been very honest this offseason. He did not spike the football. He admitted, we thought his floor was he's going to be our best special teams player, basically. The Eagles thought his floor, Zach Bond's floor, was he was going to be our best special teams player. And maybe he can offer some of the traits that Van Ginkel did. Maybe. That was their hope. Turned into the best off-ball linebacker in the NFL. It's an amazing story. Amazing story.
There's got to be, is there a way to look up, like, whether, I don't know how to gauge it. Would it be based on contract or free agency phase? Like a guy that was signed for that type of money at that, time of the year that went on to be a first team All-Pro. I don't know. Has that ever happened?
I can't think of another example. There,
it'd be a hard thing to find because I don't know how you would filter the results. But
the contract part is that's what you try to do in free agency. That's what the Eagles try to do. That's what all smart teams try to do is find guys coming off their rookie contract that maybe, you still think have that upside. The best example of this would have been Brandon Brooks in Houston. It's a good player. I'm going to say average player, but the Eagles thought he could go much higher than that. And they get him with Jeff Stoutland, and he turns into the best right guard in football for a number of years. But they paid him. That part doesn't measure. That is the bar. As hard as it is to find that diamond in the rough, to get him for $3.5 million, that's crazy.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know if this ever happened. I think it's probably a hard thing to look up.
First team All-Pro, I would say it hasn't been that long. Yeah, you'd have to go through it. But for a guy to go from a 1 year, $3.5 million player into a first team All-Pro, yeah, I don't know if that's ever happened before.
Good stuff there, John. I got to say, there's one thing here that's not particularly the Eagles, but I got to stop and ask you about it because I'm thinking about it. I'm surprised to hear that Brian Flores is your favorite defensive coordinator. Just because
the show numerous times.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I thought you liked more of the Fangio style. I mean, when I think of Flores, I
hate Fangio's scheme.
You just say you just think he's the best?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
Flores is obviously that blitz happy, plays a lot of cover zero. Now, I do think he's versatile. He adapts very well, but isn't that what he's known for? Pretty blitz heavy defensive coordinator, a lot of cover zero.
He's known for more of the reason why I like him is he's successful. That you have to be
very successful. Yeah.
You can't, like he did what Vic did. They had one of the worst defenses in football, not to quite the level the year before they got him. And the next year they were, top 10, not to the level of Vic did. And they were top 10 again last year. So he's only been there 2 years. They've had a great defense both years. Great modern defense. Again, not as good as Vic. I don't like Vic's scheme, but not because of Vic, because of everyone else that ruins it. Like so many people copied Vic's scheme.
Yeah, right. And it gets watered down.
In such a shitty fashion. Sean Desai here. Ed Donatel is who Flores replaced. That was one of the worst defenses I've ever seen. that might be the closest of all the big sort of copycats. Ed Donatel was with him the longest, probably knows his scheme the best, and even he can't run it. And he was terrible to the point where I don't know where Ed is now, but he is, he's like Vic's age. He has been in the league. He had been in the league a very long time. And defensive coordinator in multiple places. And he was so bad that season. I don't think he's I don't think he's back in the league. So, and there were like at the high point, there were like 13 different teams running big scheme. And it just got to be so redundant and so boring to me. But they don't run it like Vic runs it. So Vic deserves all the flowers. But yeah, other people kind of ruined me on his scheme. And I've said that probably more with Jody because they were struggling more. It was hard to complain about the scheme last year. So Jody knows it because I would talk about it too much probably when Sean Desai was here and even Jonathan, because Jonathan was running big scheme for those who don't know. And he did it pretty successfully in year 2. But you saw the criticism about letting the underneath stuff, all the good quarterbacks with the 85% completion, but yada, yada, yada. That's part of when you do it poorly, that's part of what happens. And then you saw the lack of communication in the Super Bowl. That's when you play it poorly, that's generally what happens. You blow coverages. And Vic just teaches it better than everybody else. But as far as actual enjoying a defensive scheme, yeah, Brian's bar and above number 1 in my mind. I mean, he's so unique. He's so, like, people don't know what's going on. People hate playing the Vikings defense, offensive coaches.
It is blitz happy. Wasn't it what you know where they ranked last year in blitz? I'm sure they were top 5.
They were down a little bit. He was very blitz happy in the first year because he had no corners. So he had to.
Right. So you got to get pressure or you're toast.
So he's going to shift, and that's why I like him. He's going to shift to like Vic, and morph to around what kind of personnel he has. And he's got, now he's got Van Ginkel. Last year he's got Grenard. That was a great signing. And they signed Cashman, was a great signing. So he got these 3 playmaking players, and they played a little bit differently. But I always, if you want to know about Brian Flores, look at Josh Metellus. The guy in 2 years ago, he played 12 different positions. They're making up positions for him. Like, they've been talking about positionless players on defense for years. They already got one. His name is Josh Metellus. He plays all over. All over. He's a safety by trade, and that's generally the guys it happens. But he's played defensive line. He's played linebacker. He's played slot. He's played corner. He's played both safety positions. It's unbelievable. And that kind of stuff is interesting to me. So that's why he's my favorite defensive coordinator.
Well, he's certainly successful, and we'll see. He's got a lot to work with over there this year. So I think they're going to be a pretty good team, and we'll see how they do. We're waiting to hear from Jeff Kerr. We'll see if he gets up with us. Maybe he had a late night.
I reminded him too. What the hell, Jeff Kerr?
Might be covering. He covered the Phillies last night. That sucker went a little later than I think it went to like 10 p.m. So this is great.
I was counting on Jeff to. I was counting on him too.
Yeah, you were. Appreciate you were ready to dish to hand it off to Jeff Kerr and let him take it home on the tush push. We'll see if we can get Jeff up at some point in the show. If we can't, John, I do want to get into the NFL draft here, all right? Because the owner meetings are done. The tush push ruling is now pushed to May. So I do want to get into the draft. We're 21 days away from the NFL draft. It's April 24th. I want to run through some of the visits that the Eagles have had here in Philly. I think they're up to, I don't know how many names have been in here, maybe 10 or 12 or somewhere.
I think we're up to 14. We're
up
almost
14. All right.
We got, unless I miss one, I think I'm at 14, but somewhere in that range.
Let's see. We got Donovan. We got Oluwafemi Oladejo. John, I love that name. I want him in Philly just for that name. That's a freaking boss name.
I don't want him in Philly because
yeah, you got to type it all the time. That's one, John. You got to put in the notes.
No, he goes by Femi, so
okay, that's easier. Oluwafemi Oladejo from UCLA. All right, I like him. An edge rusher, 6'3", 259. We talked about Charles Grant, the offensive tackle from William and Mary. He's interesting because he graded out so high. How do you grade him? I'm curious to see what Stoutland would think of him. Tyler Barron, the edge from Miami, 6'5", 258. I like that, a little bit of size, but not too heavy. Jaden Blue, this one's interesting to me. The Jaden Blue, running back from Texas, we've talked about him. 5'9", 196. I don't know what they would, I guess just your Kenny Gainwell replacement right there, potentially.
Yeah, I mean, you got to draft people on day 3. I think.
Yeah, that's right.
Most of the top 30 visits are more targeted to days 1 and 2, but there's always a few that probably are going to go day 3, and he'd be, if it works, it works. Jeff will be here. By the way, I'm doing business on the air. He'll be here in about 10 minutes. He's evidently he's dog sitting. So,
oh man,
they don't like rain. Bad day to dog sit.
My dog hates rain. Hates it.
Oh,
one thing my dog doesn't care about much. He does not like, big things he feels like he can't control, like thunder and rain and stuff like that. So he's not a big fan either. I got to check on him after the show. John, keep rolling on the visits. We're going to talk to Jeff in 10 minutes. Donovan Izaraku, the edge. We've talked a lot about him. Boston College, 6'3", 248. I like him a lot. He's a player that I just see Philly in him. I don't know. Maxwell Hairston, cornerback out of Kentucky. I love this player. I don't know where he's going to fall, what round he would fall, but boy, he'd be a good guy to get into the room after Darius Slay. I mean, I like him a lot.
Yeah, that's a strange visit to me because I think he's going to go too high.
Second, what are you thinking on him? Second round?
There's a shot. I mean, I got him. Like I do tiers basically with, and I already did one at Sports Illustrated. So I basically do tiers of where the guys may potentially get. So basically my tier 1 is the first round. So number 32 or a targeted trade up. And that's where I have Ezeruku and Josh Connerly, the Oregon left tackle. That's it. And then I have tier 2, which is think trade down 40 to 50 range. That targeted trade down, and that's where I have Hairston and Donovan Jackson, the Ohio State offensive guard. That's where I have those guys. Are they really going to take a cornerback again after taking Quinyon Mitchell, Cooper DeJean? I doubt it.
And
by the way, Ian Cummings was talking about Hairston. He thinks he's got a chance to go in the first round. So, I don't know if I necessarily believe that, but he's a very good player. He's a very good prospect, and he's a great fit for what the Eagles do. Tailor-made fit for Vic Fangio with the zone coverage stuff. But I just can't. I don't know how you can double down at that position with so many other needs. So to me, it's a difficult fit. There's no way he'll be there at 64. No.
Yeah. And I mean, that premise, John, it's different for the offensive line, but the premise of with the losses that they've had this year and what you need to get from rookies, that's why I'm having a little bit of a hard time believing the offensive line is going to go in round 1, even though I know it's in the Eagles' nature, and I'm not saying they wouldn't do it. But don't you need a contributor on that defense after losing 6 guys or 7 guys?
Yeah,
that's why I'm like, what are you going to draft an offensive lineman and put him on the bench? I don't see that for this team right now.
Well, a guy like Jackson, I think that's a day 1 starter
at right guard.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, day 1 starter.
Well, then that could be reasonable.
But I still think it's much more likely that it is the defensive front like I think, and the one guy is the BC kid. I mean, that would be a perfect pick for the Eagles if he gets to 32, or if you have to move up a little bit. And then they brought in Oladejo. To me, he's not a first round pick. He's probably not going to make it to the third round. To me, and I asked Ian about him, and I said, to me, he's the Kaylee Ringo guy. And by that, I mean, he's raw, but he's really talented. So, if you were talking to people before, and a lot of people shit on me because I said he's the Kaylee Ringo guy, and I'm waiting for day 3. And if I go to sleep on day 2, and I asked Ian this, and he's there, that's the guy I'm going up to get early on day 3, like they did with Kaylee Ringo.
Right.
And people say, well, there's no way he's going to be there. They always say this. And I'm not picking on Ian. Ian is, he's too polite. He'd never say anything about it. But I'm talking about fans, and he's never going to be there, because you have this groupthink narrative that develops, and they see everybody says he's going to be a second round pick. Everybody said, well, they said the same thing about Ringo.
They said the same thing about Nakobe Dean. He was supposed to go in round 1. I mean,
exactly.
Come on. We were going to take Nolan Smith at 10 overall if Jalen Carter didn't fall.
Exactly.
I mean, we all know people fall in the draft. That's what happens. People have to fall.
So to me, he's too raw. I can't take a risk on him. But if he's that day 3 immediate trade up guy, like where everybody goes, oh shit, he's still on the board at this rate, at this point.
Right.
He's got so much upside. I'm going to go get him. That's who he is for me. And the other guys they brought in, defensive tackle, Elijah Roberts is sort of a versatile guy. He can play outside, he can play inside. More of the opposite of Milton Williams, in that Milton was an inside guy who could play outside. He's an outside guy that can play inside.
Okay.
But I think he's versatile enough to help. But he's a day 2 guy.
You think he's like a Brandon Graham comp?
Well, he's not that good.
No, I don't mean as good, but I mean like BG was one of those guys that you could play him outside, inside. He felt like he was an outside guy who could line up on the inside.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, he's more of he played mainly outside. But he can play inside. And to me, he's an old school 5 technique for all the people who like to talk about 3-4s that don't exist anymore. 5 techniques are base ends and sort of the old school 3-4. That's the kind of player he is to me. So he can play, but he's not, to me, he's a third round comp potential. And then they just brought in, or it was just revealed that they're meeting with Shamar Turner, who's another guy from Texas A&M, might be a second, third round pick. He's versatile too, so you can see what they're doing. He's more of an inside guy with some outside versatility. So he's more the inside guy who can play outside in a pinch like Milton. And Roberts is more the outside guy who can play inside. So you can see they're looking at versatility. But, other than on the defensive front, other than Ezeruku or however, I don't see any first rounders. But then again, to me, the best 4 players they brought in that we know of, and I'm up to 14. So there's still 16. And they probably brought in some guys we don't know about.
Yeah, you have to like pry for this information. It doesn't really come out, right? Yeah.
No, you generally get it from their agents or the players themselves that say, hey, I'm visiting Philadelphia.
Right, we met with here to boost our value and stuff. Yeah.
So, the best 4 players they've met with are Ezeruku, Josh Connerly, Donovan Jackson, and Maxwell Hairston. Those are the best 4 players. And then you got a bunch of guys who are day 2, day 3 picks, and a bunch of guys, not a bunch, but a couple Jaden Blue was one you mentioned. To me, he's a day 3 guy. Tyler Barron's an edge rusher they brought in.
Yeah.
To me, he's a day 3 guy from Miami. Jalen Travis, big 6'9" swing tackle guy.
Yeah, I like him.
To me, he's a day 3 guy, though. I can't take him in day 2.
That's a big boy, Johnny. 6'9", 340.
Well, and remember that when they brought him in, it was before they got Kendall Lamb and Matt Pryor. So they have a better security blanket for swing tackle now. So I'm not sure you really need to reach for somebody like that. And they brought in so many offensive linemen. I talked about the 2 best, Ezra Ruku and Jackson. Charles Grant, you brought up from William and Mary. Marcus Embo from Purdue, who's probably going to be a day 2 pick. Anthony Belton from North Carolina State's got a chance to be a day 2 pick.
Yeah, and here's the interesting note on Belton. He was the first reported visit this year, right?
Yeah, he confirmed that at the combine. He confirmed.
But here's the thing. So I got this. I think it was Jimmy Kempski. I want to say it was Jimmy Kempski who put this out. I hope I'm right because I want to give him credit. But he put out, it's worth noting, last year's first or the 2024 first visit was Cooper DeJean, and a couple years back, the first visit was Jordan Davis. So you have 2 instances in the last 3 years of the first visit being drafted by the Eagles. I'm not saying they're going to draft Anthony Belton, but I thought it was an interesting note.
Yeah, it might be. I don't know if Jimmy might have the information. I love Jimmy. I don't know if he was the actual first visit.
Right. Like it was reported first. Yeah. That doesn't mean he was actually the first, right?
And nobody had to report it because Anthony confirmed, like I said, Anthony Belton confirmed it on the podium at the combine.
Yeah.
I don't know if he was brought in first. I don't know if Cooper was reported first. It's just sort of a nice coincidence.
There might be some misinformation there. It might not.
So I don't. But the Eagles have a history, especially recent history. They will draft guys they bring in for top 30 visits. It's not subterfuge.
Yeah, right. And I like the thing we talked about earlier. Later in their careers, they might pick them up.
Kenyon Green this year.
Yeah, Kenyon and the quarterback.
Dorian Thompson-Robinson this year. Yeah. So they do, it's not subterfuge.
Well, it's always good to learn about draft prospects too, because I always say, if you're like us, and I assume anybody listening to Birds 365 right now is like us, and they're in touch with football all year round, it's worth getting to know the draft guys because then you know who's in the league. You know what I mean? The future of the NFL. You study up the draft, and then those are the players who are making plays.
The Eagles love Kenny Pickett, and they traded for him.
You think Kenny's going to start over there? Probably not, right?
Well, they ain't drafting Sanders. I'm comfortable with that. No, I think ultimately they'll get Kirk Cousins. I think that's the way it's going. But, Shador, get ready. I think you're
going to New York.
Nope. I think you're going to see the ball.
You think okay? So you don't think New York's taking him?
Nope. I don't think Cleveland's taking him. I don't think the Giants are taking him.
I'm going to predict that the Giants are going to take Shador. I don't have information though. I'm just guessing. I have no information. I don't know if you have that look on your face. It looks like you have some information.
Well, I would say the Shador Sanders fans should get ready for the precipitous ball.
All right, we'll see what ends up happening. We got our boy Jeff Kerr waiting in the green room. What's up, Jeff? Good to see you in here. Let's go to my main man, Jeff Kerr from CBS Sports, joining us now on Birds 365 on a Thursday edition of the show. Jeff, we're used to seeing you on Monday. How has your week been, brother? Thanks for joining here on a Thursday edition.
It's been good. Just soaking in some Phillies baseball.
4-1, Jeff. Good start for the Phils.
Yeah. My boys on the team last night. I got a couple boys that I talk to a lot, and so when the Mundo Sosa, Johan Rojas, and guys like that do well, I get pretty excited. Orion Kirkering's one of them too. It's just there are certain guys on that team you talk to in that clubhouse every time you're in there, and when you see them do what they're doing, it kind of makes it a little extra special.
Yeah, I get you. It's a people business, Jeff, and Mundo's maybe the hottest bat on the Phils right now. And boy, if Johan Rojas, if he can do this consistently, now that's a big ask.
Yeah.
But if he can do that consistently, boy, he's going to be a weapon for this team because that arm in the outfield is pretty incredible.
Yeah, he had a really good winter. He changed his swing up. When I was talking to a couple people around in the know with him, and just working on his bunting. And you could see that last night. And, like Mundo Sosa, I'll tell you what, Xander, if you ever get a chance to cover a Phillies game, he's one guy to talk to. He will give you an hour of his time, even if you only want a minute. That's just how he is.
Sometimes you don't want that, Jeff.
Yeah, sometimes you don't, but he's one of the guys that, you get Diego, the translator around him, you'll get some good stuff.
Yeah, and he's disciplined at the plate. That's what I like about him. He's got a great approach at the plate. That's why he's hitting well right
Jeff,
now.
By the way, I have some advice for the Phillies if you want to give it to them. Don't pay attention to the Dodgers because it'll depress you.
No, I mean, look, they're really good. They're 8-0. You know what? This is how the Phillies just kind of roll. They control what they can control. I mean, I still think they're one of the 5 best teams in baseball.
Oh, so do I.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I think number 1 is so much better than number 2, 3, and 4. Everybody's got to hope for a bunch of injuries. Yeah, but not just the Phillies.
What's funny about the Dodgers is last year when the Mets beat the Phillies, I said, well, the Dodgers are going to win the World Series. And everybody goes, why you say? I'm like, because the Phillies are the one team that were equipped to beat them. I don't know what they are this year, but we'll see.
Yeah. I agree with you. All right,
coming to town tomorrow, though, Jeff. It's gonna be good, man. I'm excited for that series. You got to see how you match up with them, Johnny Mac. It's good.
It's only early April. It's only early April.
Yeah, but still, I mean, they're 8-0. They're red hot. You know what I mean? I'm not saying this is going to tell the whole story. Now, if you're going to play match up with that team early on,
if you're going to play the odds, they're not going 162-0, so that's a good time to get them.
Yeah,
logical loss time.
John, have you been paying attention to the NL West standings at all? Did you happen to take a glance at them?
The National League standings?
Yeah.
No, it's too early.
Well, it's too early, but it's funny how the Dodgers are 8-0 and they only have a half game lead in their division because the Padres are 7-0.
Yeah. Well, it's too early. As you know, I declared the AL MVP race after day 2, I think.
Yeah, day two.
I called it. And I'm calling the World Series after a week.
Wait, who'd you declare the AL MVP?
Oh, Judge. Well, I mean, he's going to
be the best.
John McMullen is fun to. If you want to people watch at a baseball game, John McMullen's a good people watcher.
I could see that.
But baseball's the only sport I can be a fan about, to be honest. Because I don't cover it. So,
are you plugged in this year, John? Are you going to watch some baseball this year?
No, I'm not going to. I don't have time. Occasionally, I'll catch a few innings here and there. I do like baseball. I don't like the way I used to love baseball, but, I think the nerds have ruined the game to a certain extent. But it's still fun, especially when you get to the high leverage moments. It's really still fun.
I know so many people in the know with baseball, and it's one of those where they can. This is how we try to explain the whole nerds argument. If you could tell me what WRC plus means like I'm 5, I'm more than willing to listen to you.
Yeah.
But if you can't and you want to big time me and think you're smarter than me, I'm going to put you in your place. Really.
Well, by the way, as a writer, as a reporter, as a journalist, but just as the writer part of it, like nothing in the history of sports writing has more good writing about it than baseball.
Oh, so many good stories.
They're because, and now if you read a baseball story, everybody's throwing their slash in there. And I'm like, dude, write about the people. Write about the people. Don't write about what Jeff's talking about or war or slash. What's a slash? Your work is shit because you're not telling the story of the game and you're obsessed in the numbers of the game. Now, where I will say that I'm not denying that those people are right. When you crunch the numbers, it's more likely that you'll hit a 3-run home run than get single sacrifice and all this stuff to happen. So they're playing the odds. I get that part of it, but it's not nearly as intriguing of a game.
One of my favorite stories I did last year it was fairly early in the year, and I was talking to Kyle Schwarber after a Sunday game, and I just happened to bring it up. I'm like, look, no disrespect, don't take this the wrong way or anything, but looks like you lost weight a little bit. I said, oh, I lost 20 pounds. And I said, you did? And I said, what'd you do? He said, well, I had 20 pounds of muscle. He said, I wanted to get faster. And he was telling me about how his hip was bothering him last year. I didn't know that was like a thing last year. So I was asking, guys really in the know, like Matt Gelb and Todd Zalecki, and they were saying, yeah, it was a thing, but apparently it was a bigger thing than what he even let on. And I wrote a story about it, and, everybody's like, wait, Kyle Schwarber about the hip injury? Is that why he hit 190? I'm like, part of the reason he hit 190.
Well, yeah, don't even get me started about injuries. And people assume if you're out there, you're healthy. And more in football than anything. I mean, like you've seen it up close from both perspectives, but obviously because football is a far more dangerous sport, you saw Kelsey up close for years. Well, he's out there. He must be good. He ain't good.
Yeah.
Took Jason Peters 40 minutes to get ready for a practice, and he still kept playing years after he left Philadelphia. Lane Johnson's always banged up. Yeah. A lot of people assume if you're out there, you're healthy, and that is not the case, especially in football. So, but I digress. The Phillies off to a very good start. The Dogs. Now, you had a bunch of dogs in the rain. That's difficult as a long time. They do not like the rain.
They do not.
I feel for you there. I'm glad you stopped by. And the reason I'm always glad to see you, but I'm especially glad to see you because I am tush pushed out. And I am handing the football to Jeff Kerr. I am pushing you.
So you're giving me a Jalen Hurts touchdown is what you're telling me.
Yes.
Yep.
Talk about
Jeff. He was ready for you at 7:55 this morning before the show and on the air. He's like, I can't wait to have Kerr out.
Jeff, I have so many people. There's so much misinformation.
There is.
I mean, and I brought up to you yesterday Warren Sharp, who used to work for the Eagles, by the way, doesn't hate the Eagles.
I like Warren a lot too.
Yeah. They're not even in the tush push era. They're not even the best short yardage team in the NFL.
I'm pretty sure it's either the Lions or the Cowboys.
It is the Rams. The Rams.
Oh, that's right. It is that's right. The Rams are up there too.
And by the way, I brought up, the Eagles deserve a lot of credit defensively because I remember writing about Kyron Williams' short yardage abilities during the regular season game. And you remember that first drive, the Rams were going right down the field and they converted on a short yardage play with Kyron Williams. And all of a sudden, the balls popped out. I think it was Zach Bond who punched it out in his super. So, I mean, the Eagles deserve a lot of credit. But to me, when you start an argument or a debate or whatever you want to call it with misinformation, like all Eagles fans think this was a perfect play.
No, they were perfect in 17.
Yes.
When they were running the quarterback. So this is what I want to share with you, John. This is what I was hearing from around the league with this play. So, and again, this is why I get upset over them trying to ban it. And look, I'm pushed out too. But the fact that during this meeting, it was deemed ugly by the league. Ugly.
I don't know if they deemed it ugly.
That's what I was told, and or not aesthetically pleasing.
Well,
heard that term.
It is ugly, but that's not a reason to ban a play.
No,
I would say
look. This is they make their money on television, and I think it's come down to that, and that's why they're using this medical thing. It's a charlatan. It doesn't even make sense. There's no medical data. It's about the TV, in my opinion. I really think it is.
Well, I laugh at this too. How they were saying Green Bay just poorly wrote when they proposed this.
They did.
It was poorly written, and that's what they're trying to fix. And this is where Howie Roseman and Jeffrey Lurie are like, no. This is their lame excuse.
Right.
You deal with it.
John's been saying that since the motion or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Pace of play.
Yeah.
Come on.
Well, I think the pace of play argument is more legitimate than. Like, I think the Frankie Luvu stuff and the Chris Jones stuff hurt in the playoffs. So I think pace of play is a better argument than safety. I will say that.
Yeah. My thing is too, from what I heard when they were talking about banning this before they tabled it, they thought the people that were going to be on their side to get rid of it aren't, and apparently one of them that favored the Eagles was Dan Quinn.
There's a lot. I mean, there's 16. It was 16-16.
Yeah, so it wasn't close.
But a lot of the even people in the meeting, a lot of people, like, they're arguing different things. You know, some of them are arguing health. Some of them are arguing they're jealous of the Eagles. Some of them are saying they're punishing the Eagles to be too successful. Like, everybody's on a different page.
Yeah,
that's where Roger Goodell's got to wrangle them up and get 24 votes and say, and the easiest way to do that, the easiest way to get the NFL owners on board is the pocketbook. And if you bring up risk assessment and say, you know, one thing I noticed and what's Kaylin? Is it Kaylin Kaler?
Kaylin Kaler. Yeah.
Yeah, she had the best. People should look at Kaylin's X platform because she was down there. Met her here a little bit when she was doing some stuff on the Eagles. She's really good. And she had basically the inside story with some help from Wickersham and all those people at ESPN because they have 90 million avenues.
That's why she moved from the Athletic to ESPN. It's like you already put a good writer, and now she's got more people to help her with it.
So everybody, she's got the most information on the actual meeting. And, you know, one thing Alan Sills, who's the chief medical officer, said, it's not, direct quote, it's not if, it's when they're talking about catastrophic injury. So, and you'll notice that Jeffrey Lurie and Howie Roseman and Nick Sirianni even left the door a little bit ajar to say, but if they can prove to us that it's an issue, that health, you know, we're all for it. We're all for it, you know. And that's the opening. Jeffrey's very smart. That's the opening to backtrack.
I thought Jeffrey's big when he was big time and people during that era. By the way, I actually thoroughly enjoyed Jeffrey's soliloquy a lot of times.
It was shorter than usual.
It was shorter. I thought the whole 40-minute sit down was pretty good, though.
No, it was. And he was getting a little feisty, which I like. I like after you win, you get a little feisty.
I just like, you can tell he's in touch. You know, he knows what the hell he's talking about. He's clearly very in touch with the league, with the game, with the team. I like that. I thought he had a good answer on everything.
I like too when he said, hey, look, if you can give us evidence, like John said, if you can give us evidence, we're more than willing to listen to you. But we're not backing down until you do that.
Yeah, I do get a kick out of this part of it, though. Our shout out to one of our great viewers, SMD. She says, so now the NFL is proactive. Interesting. John talks about this league being the least proactive league in the world. And then comes around, and now they're proactive about the future injuries.
But again, here's where the debate goes off the rails. And again, Roger said he, you know, basically he advocated to remove pushing from the game, which is what I've been saying from day one. So it's going to expand past the tush push. So get that out of your mind.
Yeah. Just go back to the pre-2004.
Exactly. That's what they're going to go back to. So it's got to do with more than the tush push. The tush push part of it is what people get off the rails about. And it was a badly crafted rule, and it didn't pass, by the way. And that's why it didn't pass. I think if they said, hey, let's go back to 2004, I think it would have passed already.
Yeah.
And I think that's ultimately what's going to happen in May. To SMD's point, look, I've said it. The safety stuff is about convincing owners. How do you convince owners? Liability.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what that's about. So forget about proactive react. That's about, if you compare it to politics, that's about you don't have enough votes on the Senate floor and you got to get 8 votes. How do you get those 8 votes? By twisting their arms? Make them scared about liability down the road. That's how they do it.
Yeah.
I thought one of the best points you brought up, though, John, this whole week was about the liability. Like people keep bringing up, oh, they say they're about safety, but the 18 games, and you brought
collectively
up well, collectively bargained.
Yeah,
There's
that's
no
collectively
liability
bargained.
there versus this. The owners have liability. I think that's a really big point, especially talking about the league.
By the way, that's another thing I've heard. Don't be shocked if we get 18 games in 2027.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And Kalen, by the way, also pointed that out. One of the owners said the last thing we want to happen is we had a chance to change this rule and something does happen. So they're already getting in people's minds. Is it bullshit? Sure.
Oh, it is.
And then people go down, well, somebody can be catastrophically hurt on any play. Yeah, duh. You're trying to get votes. I'm not saying that's not cynical. They're trying to get votes.
You know what? I always say this. Eagles fans should, instead of like being irrational about this, you take it as a badge of honor and say, we created a play. The team we root for created a play. No one can stop. And this is the only way they could do it. Oh, and by the way, we're going to be even better when we don't run the quarterback sneak because you're not banning Jalen Hurts.
But this will be the Jalen Hurts rule because history will not tell the story like you two do of, hey, they were great at this before and they're going to be – history will say,
oh, yeah,
the Eagles won the Super Bowl in 24. They pushed their way to it, and they banned the rule
I'm telling you,
they won. That's what history will show.
People do not like how many touchdowns Jalen Hurts has. They don't. People can't take that. He's got 50 rushing touchdowns already, and I guarantee at least 30 are from the Tush push.
You know what's amazing to me, Jeff? And you're right. That's how they should frame it. They had to change the rule because of how successful we were. Number 4, but they didn't change the rule for the Rams, the Chiefs, or the Broncos. Number 4, but they were very good at it. And part of Jeffrey's talk, he sort of intimated that this might be the greatest team of all time. Now, he walked it back.
I don't think he's too far-fetched on that.
I don't think he's too far-fetched on that either. Certainly in the modern generation, I think in hindsight, it might be the most talented team ever. And then you can talk about best, 16-0 Patriots. They didn't even win. I still think that's the best team I've ever seen. In the modern era, and they didn't even win. But I bring that up to say this. The Eagles fans with the inferiority complex all the time. You did so many better things than the Tush push last year.
Absolutely.
There are so many things to be prideful about this fucking team. They got a running back who Jeff knows pretty well as a Penn State sycophant that ran for 2,504 yards.
They was literally unstoppable all year.
They got an offensive line that an actual GM said, I think this is the best offensive line of all time. That's what he said. And I thought about it and I said, it's in the conversation. They had the number 1 ranked defense in the NFL. They stopped Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes to an historic level. And the headline with this team is the fucking Tush push.
That's what everybody, the casuals, know him as.
This is one of the best teams ever.
If
you're talking about, 40 plays? What was it, Jeff?
With the Tush push last year, it was 47.
47? Who gives a shit?
It's not like the 85 Bears where they were known for the 46 defense the entire season. By the way, it's so funny when you can look at the 24 Eagles and you look at the 85 Bears and they have 2 guys with like historically crazy years. Like I did this, like the best individual season in NFL history when Saquon was done. Richard Dent had 23 and a half sacks that season. And then the Super Bowl. And it's just nuts. And it's funny, like the 85 Bears, people remember the 46 defense and they remember, and I say this is where Dan Marino's legend really comes in. Everybody remembers the 48 touchdowns. I'm like, Dan Marino's the guy, the one guy who could score 30 off that team. He scored 38. Oh, and the whole world was watching when he did it.
It's amazing to me. Take pride in having one of the best teams of all fucking time.
I thought that answer by Lurie was genius. I mean, talking because the way it was framed was, "Hey, you guys lost a lot of people. Are you going to be as good?" And he was like, "Well, it's going to be hard to be better than one of the best teams of all time." I thought that was
it's a great answer.
I thought that was a great answer. Yeah,
I'm telling you, I love when I actually kind of do when the Eagles. I do love when the Eagles win because you get snarky Howie and you get snarky Jeffrey, and look how great we are. And oh, by the way, you hate us because you ain't us. That type of thing.
Hey. But and that's why, like, you got to be kidding me that people care about the Tush push. But they've been bamboozled, Jeff. I've been saying it all week. This is one of the greatest teams of all time.
Yeah, I said, and it's funny if you go on if you go down the rabbit hole, which I call the For You button on Twitter, you get the haters who go, "Oh, Jalen Hurts isn't really good because that team is loaded." I'm like, why are you punishing Jalen Hurts for being a quarterback of a loaded team? You should wish your team had the loaded team.
Yeah, but every Super Bowl champion is loaded.
Yeah, they are. The Chiefs were loaded last year. They weren't as good as they were in previous years. I could have told you that, but
no. And it's, there are teams, and I always talk about the Giants, but, the Giants and Eli Manning getting hot at the right time twice. But their Super Bowls were about their defense. Their defense was loaded.
Every year they were under Coughlin. They had a good defense.
Yeah. So, and Nick talked about that earlier. Like, who has one without a good supporter? How do you win a Super Bowl without a good supporting cast? That's one of the dumbest arguments ever. How do you win a Super Bowl with a bad supporting cast?
I mean, look at the 99 Rams. Look at all the Hall of Famers on that team.
Oh my God.
It's insane. Like
that team is wild.
I mean, every time I watch like a 99 Rams highlight or a 99 Rams game, I'm like, man, I didn't realize that at the time, but I'm like, oh my God, are they good? Like loaded across the board. Even their non-Hall of Famers were really good.
I brought this up yesterday when all right, I'm Tush pushed officially. Thanks, Jeff, for getting me through that.
Really?
But take pride. That's my last thing. Take pride as an Eagles fan, if you're an Eagles fan, on how good this team is. Don't worry about.
By the way, you're going to laugh when they have a 92% conversion rate on quarterback sneak because they're.
Oh God, yeah, they're going to be better. They're going to be better next year. They should have switched. They should have switched this year, to be honest. Jeffrey sort of intimated that. Yeah, but you brought up the snarkiness a little bit about Jeff and Howie, and they should be prideful, and they put together this team. They now have to pay the head coach like
$10 million.
But he is $10 million.
I'm thinking $20 million.
I think Liam Cohen got 14, 15. I think. Yeah. Lord knows.
I got to ask my buddy Rick Ballou. I was on with him last night. I got to ask him how much Liam Cohen got paid.
I'm pretty sure it's well above 10.
Lord knows what Ben Johnson got.
I think 17.
And he's got to get more than Ben Johnson.
And you're telling me, Jeff, Nick Sirianni's going to get 10 after 2 Super Bowl appearances in 3 years?
I was being very lenient there.
He's got to be. He's getting 20, I think, minimum.
I'll just say this: you have to make him the highest paid
coach
NFL coach, at least until the next one, and they're going to do it. But I can't help, and this happened with Doug as well. You get the feeling that Howie and Jeffrey think they're more responsible than the coach.
Yeah, and see, if I'm Nick, I am using everything they did last year against them and saying, guess what? I'm getting paid. Because
he is getting paid. That's not the problem.
But I would hold them for a king's ransom, honestly.
But, if they do take a step back next year, how quick does the hot seat ramp back up for Nick Sirianni? Because the Eagles are going to think, you know what? We can get this kind of production from a $7 million coach because we're so good at our jobs.
And they're not wrong. And they're not wrong on that. But
here's why I'm going to say it's not going to happen, because BLG brought this up yesterday, Joe. It's a great point. But the Eagles have been at the forefront of every financial milestone, it feels like, at least, the NFL has had. Every time there's a highest
debating, they're going to pay him.
They did it with Jalen. They continue to. They did it with AJ Brown. I don't feel like they're going to stray from that.
They're not. No. I'm not saying they're going to pay him. I'm saying afterwards, Once he gets that contract.
Right.
I'm not debating.
Does he become more expendable is what you're saying?
Yes.
This is how I view Nick Sirianni right now. He is on the Andy Reid level when Andy Reid was in his prime, except he finished the job.
I don't think he is from their perspective.
Yeah. From their perspective. But I'm talking about the results. The results are showing.
The results are better.
Yeah, I think better, clearly, yeah.
But that's the point. They think they're responsible. Like they think Andy showed them the way. They still have more.
Yeah, they still use tons of Andy philosophies.
I mean, right.
Howie even defers to Andy on a lot of stuff.
Andy taught them how to do their job, so they have tremendous respect.
I honestly think Howie wishes he had Andy more than where he had him.
Hey, I'm telling you, I'm telling everybody, they have more respect for Andy Reid than anybody. That's not an insult to Nick Sirianni. That's who taught them how to do their jobs.
The football side of it.
Yeah.
I remember when Howie got promoted to general manager, I think it was after Heckert left, I think, how much Andy was talking about, how excited he was to work with him because they knew Howie was going to be something in that organization. And I still say, if Andy did not have the GM title, as long as he had it, he'd have a Super Bowl.
Well, I think a lot of things happen with Andy and
a lot of his family stuff is a big
deal. But as far as he built them up, stars didn't align, blah 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 blah. A lot of things have to go right. I don't think anybody's going to debate that Doug was better than Andy, and I don't think anybody's going to debate Nick's better than Andy in that building. I really don't.
Well, Doug and Nick don't exist without Andy.
Yeah.
He walked so they could run. Let's be real. He set the.
And you know what? I'm so tired of disrespect for Andy Reid from some of the fans in the city. I really
I don't see a lot of that. I'm surprised.
I don't either, but some are very vocal about how much they hate Andy. I'm like, I guess you guys, and I'll say, I guess you really effing hate winning. I really do. Like, because I remember Ray Rhodes. He sucked. And
remember, you have a whole generation of fans who don't know how bad this organization was before Andy got here. You have a whole generation.
Yeah, you're right.
Grown up.
Yeah. Zander, how old are you now?
26, Jeff. Born in 98.
So you don't remember 98, right? Because the first Eagles team you probably remember is
the first game I remember in my life was the 04 Super Bowl. Like the first game.
Exactly.
And I don't remember everything after that, but I mean, I remember vividly watching the Patriots beat the Eagles in the Super Bowl.
You know what? That's like me, like growing up as a Phillies fan. I remember the '93 team. I remember the '93 World Series. But then I remember a long drought after.
Exactly.
So it makes me more appreciative as a fan. I don't think people are appreciative of how good this thing actually is.
Oh yeah, you have a whole group. Like I was a big Sixers guy when I was young, and
all they did was win.
All they did was win. But they were judged by a different. It was so disappointing when they lost in. They had a 2-0 lead in the finals against Portland and lost 4 consecutive, and then they came up with the worst marketing slogan of all time: "We owe you one," and then they would lose in the playoffs and lose, but they were always great.
And they're always
lose in the playoffs and lose, and they got Moses Malone. They finally won, and they haven't won since. But they had a lot of good teams. But
I'll tell you what, John. When they made the finals in 2001, and that was an 18-year drought, I remember my dad and I were thinking it's not going to be another 18 years before they make it. Oh God, this is torture.
Yeah. So it like I have that vision, like that's the Sixers team that I knew. And they were, I don't want to overstate it. It was the Celtics, Lakers, and then the Sixers.
Right.
They were one of the 3 best organizations in the NBA for a decade. And now they're a laughing stock.
And they had a lot of likable players on those Sixers teams.
A lot of great players, a lot of Hall of Fame players.
Insanely
that's where I don't think people understand the real criticism of Embiid. Joel Embiid's a great player. He's a Hall of Famer. But Joel Embiid did not win like Dr. Jet.
You're putting Joel Embiid in the Hall of Fame?
Every MVP is in the Hall of Fame. He's a Hall of Famer.
He'll be a Hall of Famer. But,
he's a Hall of Famer.
Gosh.
He's a Hall of Famer.
There's different levels, but he will.
There's different levels. It's a lot easier to make the Basketball Hall of Fame.
Jeff is right.
You're right, Jeff. But God, I do not like hearing that. Oh my God!
Yeah, he is. I hate the man. He is.
We talk about the Hall of Good in the NFL. What is that? The Hall of Medium? I mean, oh my God!
I mean, James Harden's going to make the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, I've had the mind. James Harden. My God, he's.
I feel like James Harden transcended the game a little bit more
than
Joel Embiid. You know what I mean? I mean, when he first came onto the scene, James Harden was a spectacle.
James Harden's one of the best pure scorers who ever lived.
Yeah, I'll never forget that when I lived in Houston and James Harden was on the Rockets, I went to a game in Houston. All right. And I go in there and I hadn't watched NBA in a little bit. And I wasn't watching the Rockets. I was a Sixers fan. And I walked in and I'm like, boy, you watch James Harden. That's it. He didn't pass the ball. He dribbled up the floor, created a shot, got a bucket. It was like every time he held the ball the whole damn game.
Yeah. Well, Joel Embiid's biggest thing right now is, and I've told people this, he is the only player since Will Chamberlain to average more points a game than minutes played.
Joel's numbers are phenomenal when he's out there. But I've had that discussion with like so many younger fans who, Moses being the perfect example. I mean,
Moses is Jesus.
Yeah, do not compare those two players. Do not.
What I tell Nuggets fans do not like my opinions on Nikola Jokic. I think Nikola Jokic is phenomenal. I said,
he's unbelievable.
I said, but your boy, and you can admit this, and they won't. He does not play an ounce of defense.
No,
I don't even know if he can play. I don't even know if he can play defense, but he makes up for it because he's so incredible on offense.
It's a little bit of the modern NBA with that, but you're right. I mean, he's one of the most gifted offensive big men.
I love watching him. Like he had that 60-point triple-double. I'm like, oh my God.
I'm happy we're down an NBA history tangent here because we had one idiot in the chat I had to check earlier. He's like, the Sixers stink so bad right now. He's not wrong. They should delete the franchise, remove the history from the archives and sell the team. I'm like, dumbass. The Sixers are one of the most storied franchises ever. They got Will, Dr. J, Moses.
There's a lot of banners.
I mean, come on, man. I know the Sixers stink right now, but what a great organization.
There's a lot of banners and a lot of great players whose numbers are retired in that building.
Come on.
I mean, people don't realize how good that era was.
I know because my dad was a huge fan. So whenever we're out shooting, I mean, he's Andrew Toney.
Andrew Toney.
You
know what? Here's a good one for you, Xander. I remember when the Sixers were debating whether to put Charles Barkley to retire his number because they're like, we didn't win anything, and we're a franchise that's proud of winning, and he never won anything. And they put it up because Charles Barkley was a Hall of Famer. It was really good for them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
they haven't retired a lot of numbers recently. They haven't.
No.
I mean, of all the names we just mentioned, and I know I'm not saying you're wrong about Embiid going to the Hall, but good Lord. He is nowhere.
Well, he's incredibly gifted, but there's different levels. Like when you have the gifts that Joel Embiid does, and part of it's health, but part of it is also, he isn't exactly keeping in. One of the things in the late Andy Jasner, who was a great guy, because I covered the Sixers for a while, and he used to keep me sort of, in on the inside when I left and I didn't cover him anymore. And from day one, the Sixers kind of played into some of the lesser characteristics of Joel Embiid. They didn't push him, they coddled him, they did all this stuff. A lot of foot problems. He used to walk around. Something as simple as this. A lot of foot problems. 7 foot, 280-pound guy. Hey, you want to lose weight in that instance, and that's always been conditioning's always been
out of shape. Yep.
Harder on the knees.
But he would show up at practice with and go out on the floor with no sneakers, with bad feet, and like everybody was afraid to tell him, dude, you got to take care of yourself. Stuff as simple as that.
Yeah, and
it's like I mean,
the maddest I've ever gotten, and I can get pretty upset at certain things during sporting events. But the maddest I've ever gotten as a fan was when they blew Game 6 and I knew they were going to do it in 2023 because I love that team. And I thought that team was good enough to win it all. But when Embiid said after that game, I didn't get the ball. You're the MVP of the league. Demand it. What are you? You are a losing player.
He's
I
a losing player.
see.
That's the best word for him. He's a losing player.
I don't think that's fair. And I've been harder. See, I think I've been harder on Embiid than most because I think the Sixers, and I talk about it all the time in football, one of the hardest things to do is be honest with yourself. In this particular, like you don't want the ball to Joel Embiid down the stretch. It had to be a Kobe Shaq situation.
Shot
like
maker.
Shaq.
Yeah.
Shaq was, not the entire time, but ultimately came to the conclusion, look, I can't shoot free throws. I can't be relevant in high leverage moments.
Kobe took over the NBA finals.
Yeah.
Right.
In games.
Exactly, Jeff.
Now you have to get that player. It's hard to get Kobe Bryant, but Shaq.
Sixers had a guy who won them 2 games in that series.
Yeah. Well, exactly. You can't run the offense through Joel Embiid. Not about free throws. He's a very good free throw shooter. He's a turnover machine. Late in games when they ramp up the defense.
Exactly.
Yeah. So turnover, you can't do it. He was, he put the ball on the floor. He's a ball stopper, as they call it in the NBA. Whereas if you had
clogged the lane too. Like he was always clogging Harden's vision. Like just someone being at those games. He's clogging the lane, not demanding the ball. And Harden's like, dude, like get out of the way.
Where if you have even Jimmy Butler, or you had James Harden, or you had Tyrese Maxey, those are the guys who need the ball in high leverage moments. And Joel can't, and they were afraid to say, we can't run the damn offense through you in these moments. We can't do it.
Yeah. Jimmy Butler was that guy that franchise needed.
Exactly.
And they had him.
He was.
And they let him go to Miami and let him call the shots, and they should let him call the shots here. And I'm still upset by it. It's, when he said Tobias Harris over him, and when Sixers fans were going on, no, that's not true. I'm like, no, it is true.
I can't believe we brought up Tobias Harris today. I'm now officially in a bad mood for the rest of my
Zander, when I was at game 6 last year, I literally said to everybody in my section, guys, Tobias Harris is as many points as everybody in this section right now.
I mean, oh my God.
And he only has one more shot.
John, along with our theme of the show today, every day there seems to be a theme developed. J-Mac started the show with the Malcolm X quote of Bama. We've been had, we've been took, we've been hoodwinked, bamboozled, led astray, and run amok by the Joel Embiid process era of the Philadelphia 76ers.
Oh, don't even talk. Yeah, those people,
Oh,
led by a certain radio host that I shall not mention.
We all know who it is.
Remember retweet Armageddon? Remember that?
Oh God, yes.
I said when the Sixers traded at the beginning of the process, traded Drew Holiday, I tweeted, I think Drew Holiday has a chance to be a really impactful player on a championship level.
And he was.
Now, this was before, and I got retweeted Armageddon to death because remember what happened? Michael Carter, remember Michael Carter Williams?
Yeah, all he did was win Rookie of the Year. That's it.
Rookie of the Year, Michael Carter Williams. Last I looked, Drew Holiday's still playing on a championship.
Tell you what, that 11-12 Sixers team had some really good basketball players on.
Well, by the way, Andre Iguodala won a ton of championships.
And the finals MVP.
Yep. Good contributor.
And by the way, he might be a Hall of Famer. There's debate on him.
Yeah, the problem with Iguodala is I do think his time in Philly had come to an end. It's kind of one of those things.
I think people didn't realize what he was. Drew Holiday's been on an Olympic gold medal team. He's won NBA championships.
Yeah, Drew's great.
With 2 different franchises.
Yeah.
I have yet to get the apology from that said radio host and all his sycophants. I used that word twice today. Shouldn't.
Who we talking about? Angelo?
All his
no.
A certain son of a certain famous radio host.
We talking Philadelphia here?
Yes.
I have a friend who is a coach that drew up a basketball play one time and said, if I ever beat him, I want to show him the play. and just be like if he can decipher it, because he doesn't think he knows anything about basketball.
Oh yeah, I guarantee he couldn't do that.
Yeah.
I guarantee it. No, he's about more of the salary cap crap, that kind of stuff. You got to win the trade. You got to win every trade.
You don't win every trade.
Yeah. And sometimes it's not a bad thing if you have a win-win and everybody's happy.
Andy Reid gave a really good answer on Josh Uche during the owners' meetings, John. I don't know if you heard it or not.
No, I didn't. I'm interested though, because Uchi's one of my guys. I think he's going to be.
Yeah. So he said. So in reality, we got him mid-season. We took a flyer on him. We think he's a good player, but we needed a whole offseason training camp with him, and I think we would have gotten a lot more. He said it just didn't work out here, but he said we still think he's a good player.
Yeah, they didn't use him. I mean,
he was
how could it work
in the
out?
Super Bowl. He didn't even dress. He was.
Yeah.
He got the Bryce Huff treatment.
Yeah, they just said we got him mid-season, and he said it just. Sometimes it just doesn't work out. Yeah,
Spags didn't like him. I think Jeff, I picked him to be my dark horse for the Timu signings. I like him a little better than Ojulari. I think Vic is going to pull it out of him.
He's a good rotational piece.
Well, I got to tell you, Nolan's going to be here. Jelix is going to be here. They're going to draft somebody in the first 2 rounds that's going to be here. And one of those 2 guys is probably not going to be here because they're not going to contribute on special teams, either of them.
It really is a shame the Cincinnati Bengals settled their tight end situation, because there's a certain guy that Eagles could have bargained for to get a certain edge rusher on there.
Oh, yeah. Well, that would change the whole thing, by the way, if they get a Trey Hendrickson level.
I'm never rolling that out because he ain't happy right now.
No, he ain't happy. And if they could pull that off, all of a sudden that's your head. I talk about headline. They don't have a headliner on the pass on the pass rush.
Yeah, they got one.
Yeah, that changes.
I'll be the first guy to say they may be going back.
That would make them daunting, I would say, and it would also say Uche better be better than Ojulari, because he's not even going to be on the team if they get Trey Hendrickson.
Yeah, it's a good point by you, John. And they paid Ojulari more, so maybe.
Just remember that they Evan White more than Zach Bond too.
Oh, is there any chance that Bryce Huff gets traded post June 1?
Yeah.
Yeah, there is.
They stopped talking about him. I don't think anybody asked about Bryce Huff down there.
Well,
I mean, I wasn't down there. I would have asked about Bryce Huff, because I think, Howie said before the Super Bowl when he talked to us, that, he thinks that was when he said the story is yet to be written. He's very stubborn. He said that he thinks he can play. He's the guy who signed him to that contract. So obviously, and all of a sudden nobody talks about him anymore.
John,
and
I had 2 questions for Jeffrey Lurie if I would have went down. I know you would have rolled your eyes at one, but one I think you would have been intrigued by.
All right, give them both to me. Give me the rolled-eyed one. Rolled-eyed.
Well, the NFL.
Well, then Bob Donald Trump, I was rolling my.
Well, yeah, that one. Yeah, you and I talked about that one already. About the Kelly Green uniforms.
I would have rolled my fucking eyes.
Yeah, because now you can do it 4 times a year.
Now I'm not going to go all Reuben Frank on you. I try to show some decorum, but I would have rolled my eyes.
Was he even there?
I don't know. I don't know if he was there.
I knew Dave was there.
But, Dave was there.
Yeah, but the other one would have been. It's been 25 years since the NovaCare complex officially opened. Do you have any plans on expanding that?
That piece of
that would have been my one. If I have one, that would have been the question.
Boy, I can't get over all the good things about this organization. And I blame this more on Philadelphia, the city of Philadelphia, than the Eagles. Because they want to stay in the city, which I think is
they love that location.
Yeah. I think is worthwhile endeavor to keep it close, but they could have a Dallas level facility, a Minnesota level facility, a Miami level facility if they went to the suburbs tomorrow.
If they went to King of Prussia, oh baby,
South
South Jersey.
Now
oh,
I would
baby.
hate that, but yeah.
Oh, I would love that.
Jeffrey, come to South Jersey. Come to South Jersey. They'll give you everything you need. You can have this Dolphins-like facility.
No, both of you off. No, keep it in.
Why? Why do fans? You can't go. Why do fans care? Don't you want a better facility?
Yeah, it's
that treats the players.
It's
like
a pride
everybody
thing,
else?
John. I just love the city. I love that our sports teams are in the city. I love it. All right. I'm
Well,
not
they're
gonna
in
blame
the southern part of the city.
I don't have a good reason other than that. I love Philly. I love where I grew up, and I like the city having.
Then blame
even if it's not
blame
worth it, but
blame the politicians then who
Yeah.
make it difficult to do this kind of stuff.
I'm going to say this for as much as we shit on the Sixers today, boy, do they got a great facility there in Canada.
Oh yeah, it's awesome.
Oh, that thing is state of the art.
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
The Flyers facility stinks. Oh, the Phillies got a great facility in Clearwater.
yeah,
And that's 20 years old.
Yeah, the Flyers one is old, but it was good, when they opened it. But now it's just old.
But yeah, I mean, John and I are in NovaCare all the time. We see it.
Yeah, I mean, then when when the Super Bowl was out in Minneapolis, I took the tour in Eagan and their new facility. It is freaking unbelievable. There's a hotel on the premises. There's practice fields. There's bubbles. The Eagles don't even have a full field bubble to practice in bad weather.
No, it's terrible.
Is this a fair comment? Deshay says the link is coming up on dump status. You can put NovaCare Complex in there.
I don't think it's a dump.
Yeah, I don't think it's a dump, but it's older.
outdated. Yeah.
They're
gonna have to renovate, and that lease is coming up.
They can live with Lincoln Financial Field.
How old is the link? It's what, 20 years, 21 years?
The problem is
22nd year this year.
22nd. Okay.
The problem is they want to get a Super Bowl here, and they can't get a Super Bowl here without a dome
or retractable roof.
Yeah, retractable roof. Yes, they have to. If they want to get there, and they'll get one eventually if they do it.
This is what's going to be so intriguing right now with this whole sports complex. So the Sixers and Flyers are getting a new arena. That's going to be 2031. They want to build the entertainment district. But the Eagles, we do not know at this time if they're on board with the Phillies, Flyers, and now Sixers. So we have to think, what are the Eagles going to do? We know they're here, but what's going to happen? How are they going to play a role in this?
The Eagles play the biggest role. The other ones can get in line after.
Oh yeah. So this is my big thing. I am always the jerk because I go to a lot of these sporting events when they want to build this entertainment district. Where the hell am I supposed to park? I can't park now. They closed half the gates.
I know. Parking is awful.
John, you would have loved it. Me going to opening day. You would have loved it. So the gate I always go into at the Wells Fargo Center, they close like basically all the gates. So you only have to go in one entrance. I'm like, you guys don't fucking help yourselves at all. That's literally what I said to the parking attendant.
Well, I have an ace in the hole that I will not speak of because I don't want to lose my ace in the hole. But if I were a fan and I had to go to one of these things, I would not be happy. I would not be happy.
Yeah, it's very now. Granted, I have loopholes too, but I didn't use that loophole on opening day.
Yeah, I got a tush push level loophole that is 100%.
John, hold that thing in your back pocket. Put a lock on it.
I think I kind of know what it is, but I'm not going to say it.
Yeah, it really helped. When I went to WrestleMania, because that was a zoo, like constantly.
I wish I went. If I had known a little bit more about wrestling last year, I definitely would have went. Because I'm into production, and John, you tell me. I mean, that I watch it on TV. The production.
That's a production.
Yeah. Their live production is unbelievable, man. It really is.
So that really helped out there. But I got a tush push level loophole.
Yeah.
John, did you sit in the press box for WrestleMania?
Yeah. I'm not sitting with.
That's right. You don't sit with the people. This is the guy.
I do. That's not true. You saw me.
I'm a man of the people.
You were in the
I'll
whole
sit with the people.
Club. You were with rational people.
That's true. I was in the Hall of Fame club. Yeah.
Come on, don't be taking shots at all the fans. Wait, I got some news here. Well, I don't know if it's news or not, but our old friend, and then somebody just brought this up to me in the chat, Carson Wentz has retired from the NFL, and he's going to be the quarterback coach at North Dakota State. How about that?
Good for him.
Good for him. You know, I thought maybe Carson was finally going to land back in the area, and because the Vikings need a backup quarterback, I thought maybe they were going to go Carson Wentz because they're not going to sign one until after the draft because of compensatory picks. I thought maybe he'd stick out one more year, but good for him, you know. Yeah, the second, boy, it's a shame because he was so good before that injury.
Man, that 17 season was
he really
something.
was.
I'll rewatch games from 17. I'm like, oh my God.
I don't know if I mean that season of Eagles football captivated people like I've never. I know this season was amazing. The team was amazing. I don't think it captivated people like that season did in Philly. That was an unbelievable season.
Just remember, he broke the franchise single season touchdown record in 14 games.
Yeah, with what? With,
Nelson Aguilar and Alshon Jeffrey and Torrey Smith, who were good players that year.
Yeah, but
yeah, and I don't know why Carson did, he took the Jalen Hurts pick the way he took it, but
I don't think he had a thick skin.
You can no.
I think there was a litany of things that happened to Wentz. I mean, starting obviously with the injuries, but I don't know. Jack.
I'll tell you what,
forever,
John, you were. I know it was the COVID year, but man, I could see that dynamic play out. Man, Jalen's the hot 22-year-old saying, "I'm a winner. We're gonna do things my way. I'm here to take your damn job." And Carson just backed off.
I always say one of the things, 2016 was Carson's, I came in with Carson. I started covering this team on a daily basis. I was there occasionally before.
Yeah, see, I was like you, but with Jalen.
Yeah. So 2016 was my first year doing it on a daily basis. And that was Carson's first year. So that leap from 2016 to 2017, they were a bad team. And then they turned into a Super Bowl team. And, he went out to Los Angeles and worked with Tom House and company and got his mechanics up to speed. And then COVID hit, injuries hit, and he stopped doing that. And I think the mechanics regressed. I think there's a whole bunch of things, but boy, he was so good. He was so good. And then the bowl stuff, I think, messed with his mind.
You know what I think it really messed with him? 2018 when Foles came back and led them to the playoffs.
Yeah, I think I
was like, how do you recover from that?
Yeah, I don't know, but if he had a thicker skin, if he had a Jalen Hurts level of thick skin,
yeah,
I think he would have persevered. But
I'll say this: I was a Nick Foles truther since day one. I thought he got a raw deal under Chip, and look, I knew what Foles was and his limitations, but I said, this guy's got the it factor that can win you a championship. And
well, I got news for any Nick Foles truther. They ain't winning shit without Carson.
Oh, no, they're not. But Nick finished the job.
Yeah, well, Nick, no doubt. Yeah. That's why Nick is a statue here. That's why he's going to be loved in Philly.
I actually called it, and look, I felt terrible. Carson got hurt, but I'm like, man, this just feels like poetic justice. He's going to come and quarterback his talented team.
Nick Foles, there's nothing wrong with being Mariano Rivera. But somebody's got to get Mariano the ball.
Rivera there. Yep, and Carson did that. Carson Wentz was more responsible for that Super Bowl than Nick Foles was. But, man, Nick Foles did it. He did it. And that's what I think. That's why I think this 24 team is, like, so special to me. Because, like, Jalen started it. Jalen finished it. The team was loaded. Like, it felt like, okay, this wasn't a miracle. Like, no, they were the best team.
It's one of the best teams of all time. That's why I wish people would start taking pride in that and stop talking about ancillary bullshit.
That's why I love, I'm like, you guys do realize the Eagles scored the most points ever for a team in the postseason.
Yep.
They are the first team. They scored a combined total of 95 points between the conference championship game and the Super Bowl. That obliterated the NFL record by 15.
Wait, I think I got guys. I think I got by somebody in the chat. I think
that
article. I think it was an April Fool's joke. Well, it's on the Economic Times. I mean, what the heck?
Oh, you got caught. Yeah, I didn't see anything about it. That's why.
Maybe that's it.
Daz, did you just get me, Daz? Somebody says satire article. It might be. Shit. I'm sorry. Well,
did you get got? Oh, man.
But I did get got, I think. Are you kidding me?
I was just about to say, because I was trying to see where somebody got that from, and I didn't see anything.
Yeah, I haven't checked my phone, so.
Yeah.
Daz, you got to be kidding me, Daz.
Yeah.
Wait. The theme of the show strikes again. Bamboozled. Hoodwinked. Come on, man.
Don't trust anybody, Zander.
If I'm Carson, I'm getting a backup job after the draft, and
all right, that's back on.
Yeah,
John.
go make
Carson
those
of the
millions,
Vikings.
man.
There's worse things in the world than sitting on the bench for $5 million or whatever he'll get. So
backup quarterback, baby, best job ever.
Yeah. So all right, yeah, good. Carson, keep going.
All right, I got guys. Dang, got set up. Daz, you normally never lead me wrong, Daz. I trusted you, Daz. You hate to see it. Jeff, last question for me.
We kept you. Sorry, Jeff. You're so
I
so enthralling. I love talking to Jeff.
I can bring anything to the table. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah, we're talking Phillies. We hit it all. We talked Phillies.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's a melting pot.
John even got a Donald Trump reference in there. Now I know what that was about, but
we got somebody asked the question about the political nature of the visit to the White House, where I'm like, come on. I mean,
I don't care.
We don't know. And by the way, it was. I don't want to get into it, but
John and I both know who it is. So
if you don't know what Jeffrey's politics are, he don't like Donald Trump, but it's not about Donald Trump. It's about being honored and going to the White House.
Yeah, I thought Jeffrey's answer was good on it, whether he likes Trump or not. Last question for me, Jeff. We're 21 days away from the NFL draft. If the Eagles take, if you had to pick one position, I'm not going to make you pick a player. One position group, who did Birds taking in that round one if they take a player?
Well, I think it will be edge rusher. But now I will say this. I did do my one and only Eagles mock draft, and I had fun with it. I did a lot of trades because I found my inner Howie. That's all he does. But I did the PFF mock simulator, right? You want to guess who fell to 32? In that range?
An edge rusher?
It wasn't an edge rusher.
Okay.
But it was someone I'd run to the podium to take. And
Walter Nolan.
No. He
might.
Yeah. Some would say he's better than Tyler Warren.
Colston
Loveland?
Yep.
Yeah,
he's not better than Tyler Warren. That's insane.
No, I wouldn't say that.
Someone would say that. I didn't say that.
Yeah, come on. Who the hell says that?
But I don't think there's a player that I'd run to the podium for at 32. That's not going to be I'm just not in love with this draft. There's going to be a bunch of good players, but even Love, I don't think he'll fall that far.
No, I don't think he will either. I'm like, this can't be true, but it's the mock draft simulator. What are you going to do?
I mean, it's possible. There's guys that fall all the time. I talked about, they have that kid from UCLA and Femi, whatever his name is.
Yeah. I like him too.
A lot of people like him, and I said, you know what he is to me, Jeff? He's Kaylee Ringo. He's the guy if he falls because he's so raw.
Yep.
And you go to bed after day 2 and you say, he's still on the board. Wow, I'm going to go up and get him. He's that guy for me. And everybody was killing me. He's going to be a second round pick. Well, they would have said the same thing about Ringo.
I agree with you, John. I'm so underwhelmed with this draft.
Yeah.
I'm just like, this is it.
Yeah, I'm not in love with this draft.
Like, I still don't get the Shedeur Sanders.
Now, I think Carter's great, but there's some injury.
Shedeur, Jeff. I'm coming around. Jeff, what's happening to the NFL teams is happening to me. As we get closer and closer, I'm liking Shedeur Sanders more and more.
I've been saying that. Don't be surprised if he falls. Guess who was on the radio today talking about him falling?
Schefter.
Yep.
There you go.
By the way, John, so Rick Ballou gave me a good question last night when I was on the Jaguars 10-10. Who do you think the Jaguars take at 5? And I'm like, oh, man, is that a good question? That is a really good question. And I said, we're just trying to go down the board, right? And we're like, well, they're not taking Shedeur. So
no,
they're secretly hoping Travis Hunter goes to 5.
I don't think that's happening.
No, we don't think that's happening.
I think it's Cam Ward,
Abdul,
and then it depends. Obviously, Carter and Hunter, depending on which way each team wants to go. But I would say Carter 2, Hunter 3, and then you're off and running from there. But, some people have said Carter's medical stuff is a little bit more problematic, and that might hurt him a little bit. So we'll see. But to me, he's the best player in the draft.
I'll tell you what, that guy is so freaking good, man.
I know.
Somebody watches him all the time.
Like, I'll wait for him if I have to. I don't care. Get your shit fixed. And I'll wait. I think he's the best player in the draft. I know that's going to get you hyped up as a Penn State guy.
Oh,
I think he's the best player in the draft.
I wouldn't disagree with that. I mean, look, I've seen LeVar. You know what? I'm still shocked Courtney Brown went number 1 over LeVar Arrington 25 years ago. Because LeVar was the best player in that draft.
Yeah, he was the most talented. I think he underachieved because I don't think he had great football instincts, but he was outrageously talented.
Yeah.
I think Membu's going way higher than people think.
That's
kid.
Yeah.
The kid, who I like? The tackle from William & Mary that the Eagles.
Yeah, we talked about him, Grant.
Charles Grant, yeah.
I actually picked him in my mock in the 3rd round.
I like that.
Speaking of Jacksonville, that's a Tony Khan pick. If Tony gets involved, but he's too worried about wrestling. He'll take Membu, upside, that kind of thing. He'll fuck it up.
Well, it's not. Is it wrong to build in the trenches if you're them?
I'll tell you what, John.
No,
I gotta get you on with those guys from Jacksonville. They'll love you.
Yeah.
Because they say the same stuff about Tony. They don't care.
They're good. I
but the difference is they probably. I love Tony. Tony is a great person. Means well. I love him. But yeah, they make some bad football.
I still laugh when I saw those guys and they came up when the Eagles played Jacksonville. Well, they came up like 2 of the last 3 years, but I really knew them last year. And they're like, I'm like, oh, yeah, I'm surprised to see you guys make the trip up here. They're like, we want to see how a real organization operates.
I'm always dumbfounded, and I know that not everybody's going to be good, but all the money in the world, all the examples of success that live around you in the league, all the resources you would need. Like, why, how do they continually make bad decisions? What drives a team or a guy in Tony's case to continually mess it up?
Not hiring the right people.
Well, Tony's not in charge. I mean,
no, but I just mean from a general, how does it, I don't know. Maybe I'm off base, but
his dad deserves more of the criticism. How do you hire Urban Meyer? I don't know. How do you go through a
yeah.
Oh my God.
How do you go through a vetting process and say, yeah, this is a good idea?
Is Urban Meyer the worst coach of all time, NFL coach?
He might be. How long did he last? He got fired in what?
13 games. 13 games.
Okay, 13.
Bobby Petrino was bad.
Petrino. You bring up. I'm staying away from college in general. And unless they come and grow and as a coordinator and that type of thing.
I'm shocked, honestly. Not like Chip was bad in Philly, but man, I'm still shocked he got hired a second time.
Oh yeah, that
was the one. I'm like, wait, seriously?
That worked out well.
Oh yeah.
Now
might as well kept Jim Tom Sula.
Chip got too much crap for what went on here until the end. The end was brutal. But he won. He made the playoffs. He brought a lot of. He was ahead of the curve. Brought a lot of tempo stuff, sports science stuff. He did a lot of good stuff.
They still the smoothie machine.
Yeah, he had no filter, man. That was his problem. Like, you can't ask 18 and 19-year-old kids. You can't ask Jason Peters to go 1,000,000 miles an hour like an 18 or 19-year-old kid. Yeah. He didn't get that part of it.
Oh, Jason ripping him. That was your first year, right, John? When 2016, when Jason just ripped him to shreds.
Oh, a lot of people did, but
No, but Jason really went off.
Well, yeah. Well, I always joked the Eagles flow chart that day. People thought it was, the typical Jeffrey Lurie, Howie Roseman, Doug Peterson. It was actually Jeffrey Lurie, Jason Peters, Howie Roseman, Doug Peters. He could do whatever he wanted. But yeah, he had a carte blanche that other people didn't have.
I think that's what bothered me about Ohio State winning the national championship this year. Chip Kelly got it.
Yeah. I got it. Yeah, good for him. Good for him.
Yeah, like I said, good for him, but he's one of those guys. Maybe he mellowed out over the years. I don't know. But
yeah, I'm sure he learned. And college is different. College is about recruiting. We talk about that all the time.
College is built for Chip Kelly. That's why I was surprised he left.
He got a lot of those players come to Ohio State through the portal. I'll give him credit.
No, I mean, Chip hated the recruiting aspect. He didn't want to deal with parents and.
No, he was a coach. He was a coach.
Yeah. He just wanted to coach football. Yeah.
But he could get these guys paid. He could get them drafted high, and I'm sure he told them that, and they believed it, and he was probably right.
Oh, no, he was right. He got a lot of guys drafted
high. Look what Ohio State did, no doubt.
Yeah, he didn't like jumping through the hoops, though. Yeah, but
I don't blame him. Yeah. I mean, does anybody really like playing that game? I don't
probably
think so,
not.
But.
Probably.
No,
not.
You know what? I'm a guy who loves going 100 miles per hour. I couldn't do it every single day. It'd be too much.
A lot. Jeff, thank you for joining, man. As always, we love talking to you on Bird. I mean, Jeff, I was feeling a little goofy on this week of Birds 365 without you, brother. We didn't have you on Monday. I'm like, where's my boy Kerr? So we got you up on Thursday. Great stuff, man. We appreciate it. Make sure you guys follow Jeff at Jeff Kerr CBS. One of the best to do it, man. We appreciate you, Jeff. We'll talk to you again next week. All right, brother?
Yep, sounds great. Got 2 Phillies games this week. You're going to be hearing some minor league notes from the Phillies this week. I guess
you're not going down to the bank today, Jeff.
No, I won't be. That's why I'm here.
Yeah, I was going to say you wouldn't be.
They're going to get rained out anyway.
Yeah, that's what I figured. I'm like, I'm not going to go down today. I'll go down rained out.
Is that how bad it looks today? I haven't looked at the weather.
It's not very promising. I'll say that.
Oh man. Yeah. Hopefully they don't, but we'll see. Jeff, thank you, brother. We'll talk to you next week.
Yep, see you guys.
Thanks, bud.
Jeff Kerr joining us. Great stuff here from Jeff Kerr on Birds 365. A lot of great talk today, Johnny Matt. John, I love melting pot shows that are all things sports. I know we're an Eagles focused show and we focus on the NFL, but this is a fun time of the year to be able to kick around some other things. I thought Jeff and you and I got into some good stuff there.
Yeah, it's always good. I like a little tangent. We got into some Phillies, some Sixers, some process talk, even got bamboozled by Carson Wentz talk. Who knows?
I mean, bamboozled was the theme of the show today for sure. It was good stuff. Good theme.
Yeah. But hopefully we can move on we're not going to move on from the tush push because people won't let me move on, and it's not done yet. So we still got to talk about May. But,
we get about a 40-day hiatus, all right, between now and I guess the next somewhere in that range, the next owners meeting where I would assume they're going to have the votes. Maybe not, but I'm assuming. I'm going to go out on a limb and say they're going to have the votes. That's why they tabled it. Lurie wants it gone, and they're going to get rid of it. We'll see what happens. Johnny Mac, your final thoughts on this Thursday edition, 1001, brother.
Should we run down these questions? I feel bad if I don't.
Oh, shit. Do we have super chats? Damn, my bad, people.
Yeah.
We have got 5 of them. Let's rip them. Brandon Williams. John, why shouldn't Eagles fans be angry that the Bills get multiple favorable rule changes to help them after losing, yet the Eagles winning triggers something to hurt them?
Brandon, I don't agree with your premise. Here's the problem. Like, your premise is winning triggers something to hurt them. That's not what's going on here. So I can't argue these, and that's what I'm talking about, this misinformation. Pushing's got to be removed from the game. That's where the NFL is. They put it back in the game.
But Josh, to be fair, you have information that Brandon perhaps doesn't. And from Brandon's perspective, after 22, they want to ban the tush push. After 23, after 24, so that's what I'm saying. That's where that comes from. I don't think
even the mentality, and this is what I kind of talked about. Take pride on how good this team was. They were actually worse this year than ever before in the tush. It's only 3 years. This was their worst year with the tush push. They had their best team. Right. They didn't win the damn Super Bowl because they were good at the tush push. They won the Super Bowl because they had the number 1 defense. They had the best offensive line, maybe of the modern generation.
Right.
They had playmakers all over the field. They ran the tush push less than 50 times. Like, it's take pride in the other stuff. This should not be the headline of this team. Jeopardy, and I said, if you don't believe me, if you don't believe Warren Sharp, and Warren's the best in the business from a statistical standpoint, who used to work for the Eagles as a consultant, they were number 4 in the league. So that's where I say you've been bamboozled. The LA Rams were better in short yardage. The Kansas City Chiefs were better in short yardage. The Denver Broncos, who are nothing, were better in short yardage.
I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying, perhaps Brandon, who didn't have all the information, could come to that conclusion. I'm not saying it's right. I'm just saying I could see where he would draw the parallels.
I know
because you've explained it to me for the last week, so I know what's going on.
Yeah. So, that's my point. I don't agree with your premise. You can get angry that the Bills, as you described it, get multiple favorable rule changes to help them. I don't agree with that. And the Eagles winning triggered something to hurt them. I don't agree with that. And I don't agree that their winning was due to the tush push. It contributed. Being top 5 in anything is not bad by any stretch. They're very good at it, but they use it 50 times. Give me that offensive line and take out that tush push, and I'll take my chances. I don't give a shit if it's in or not.
Yeah. Brandon, thanks for the super, bro. JD3 checks in. J-Mac, why do you think they have intentionally not brought up the Rock, T. Scott, I guess Travis Scott angle in the Cody and Cena feud? Biggest moment of the year is getting wasted.
Yeah, well, I think of that as a lot to do with Rock, Dwayne Johnson. I mean, guys, he does what he wants to do. And if he's available, he likes to stop in and do shit. And if he's not, and understand they've been in Europe for 3 weeks. So Rock isn't going to Europe. So,
Rock is like, I love you.
Not that he can't. He's just a busy guy, and he's not going to Europe for 3 weeks. So, part of it is just, I think, but we'll know on Monday night, don't be surprised if there's a late addition to the show. They're back in the U.S.
Yeah.
I think Chicago. They've been in Europe for 3 weeks. So I think they press pause, but if he's not on the show Monday night, I would say it's just one of those whims that you got one of the biggest stars in the world who does what he wants, and he doesn't feel like doing something right now.
Right. You get him when you can get him, and when you don't, you make do,
Yeah.
I'll get some J-Mac predictions on WrestleMania as it gets a little closer. I'm curious who you think is going to win that triple threat match or whatever it is with Roman and CM Punk and Seth, and then the Cena Cody bout. I got to get Johnny Mac's opinion. JH checks in. Greg Cosell has Nick Emanwari as his best safety prospect in the draft, and he fits Fangio's system. Any chance we take him at 32, says JH.
Yeah, I don't know. He's a great fit for the system, but he's a great athlete. I don't think he's going to be there at 32. No, I don't think the Eagles would take him at 32.
I think if he was there, the Eagles wouldn't take him. I don't think they want to spend a first round pick on a safety right now. I just don't.
It depends on how the board falls, but they'd much rather, I would bet heavily on defensive front or offensive line with the first pick. But yeah, I don't know if he's a great. You got to be more of a coverage player, I would say, and I'm more of a communicator player. Not that he can't turn into that, but I don't see the great fit. But more of he's not going to be there. I don't think he's going to last the 32. B, I don't think the Eagles would go at that position at that point. And I think they'd much rather build on their foundation this year.
Yeah, I agree. Brian Pumper checks in. What's a show without a Pumper super chat? If the tush push is ugly, then Sydney Sweeney is hideous, and she would be happy to return my DMs. Pumper, not happening, brother.
Yeah, I agree with your. I agree with your Sydney Sweeney assessment. Very fetching.
I think she's a little overrated. Is it unfair for me to say?
Well, yeah, I'm going to disagree there, but
I think the Knockers got
everybody. I don't think
the Knockers got the glasses on everybody. I'm sorry.
I would not compare the tush push aesthetically to Sidney Sweeney.
No, okay, that I'll agree with. I'm not going that far. All right. Pumper again. J-Mac's argument that the league loves the Eagles is capped. 2023, they magically started calling a legal man downfield because of RPOs. 2025, tush push.
Magically.
Pumper calling you out.
Magically. How about the fact that the Eagles had a bunch of people downfield, Pumper? They teach that I've been talking about that for years. Eagles do a lot of things great. One thing they've been hideously bad at is going downfield too early. It's been a consistent theme. You know, sometimes, believe it or not, they don't do things well. And one of the things is the legal man downfield. You can look at every single one of them, Pumper, and they're all there. Every single time there's a man downfield. Every single time. Now, it's part of life, part of doing business. If you run a bunch of RPOs, you're more likely to get those penalties because offensive linemen, in their mind, they can't look back. So if you hesitate at all, that's a timing play. If you hesitate at all, the offensive linemen are supposed to block that thing as a run, and they're going to be downfield. So it's a timing play, and the Eagles haven't been good at it.
And and I mean,
or the league that has put the Philadelphia Eagles on in prime time more than anybody else in this century, except the Dallas Cowboys. So your hatred of Dallas can continue. The league that puts them on in these high-profile spots hates them and wants to call a legal man downfield on the Philadelphia Eagles. You pick your choice, Pumper.
Come on, Pump. You just got put in a blender. Vulnerable Vitality checks in. What's up, Vulnerable? He says, as the resident Mizzou fan, yeah, I had to talk a little shit to you a little earlier after you guys got bounced by Drake. I'll admit I want Membu, but after his combine, I don't think he makes it out of the top 10. Go Birds. Much love. Much love, brother. Appreciate you, Vulnerable. You think Membu top 10? I think so, too.
Oh, God, yeah.
Yeah.
32? No. The Eagles ain't in the conversation, right?
No.
Yeah. Yeah, he's not getting out of the top 10. I think he might go top 5.
There you go, John. Thanks for reminding me of the super chats. Couldn't do it without you. Thank you, Johnny Mac. Good stuff. Thanks, everybody. John, way over time here. Sorry to keep you late. Your final thoughts.
I got some
Thursday
time.
Edition.
It's late. I got to go.
All right. See you, Johnny Mac.
All right. Thanks, everybody.
All right. Thank you, Mac. There's good stuff from Johnny Mac joining us here on Birds 365. Great show. We'll have to do a little overtime talking wrestling, all right, as we get a little closer to WrestleMania. I know not everybody likes it, but I'm fascinated by John's takes on everything. I think John's pragmatic view on everything, even if I don't agree with him, it's worth listening to. Okay, I do enjoy the way he breaks things down. Don't always agree, but I do like the way he does it. All right. Let's get to a couple people in the chat. I hope everybody's doing good. Hope everybody's having a great day. We are going to do some giveaways today. All right, I'll have maybe 1 or 2 giveaways today. Good to see everybody in here. I thought our theme of the show today was excellent. All right. Bamboozled, hoodwinked, run amok, run astray, little Malcolm X. All right. Philly native, I think you're new to the channel, man. We appreciate you being here. Already became a member, just started watching. Look at that. That's one of our, look at that. That's pretty dope. Philly native, thanks for being here, my brother. I appreciate it. We're 8 to 10 every day, 8 a.m. Eastern. Okay. 8 a.m. Eastern. So I assume you're in the East Coast. If you're not, and you're not in Eastern time zone, whatever your conversion would be, 8 to 10 a.m. every day. And then I normally stick around for a little bit after the show. And during the season, we go a little bit longer. And then the National Football Show in the afternoon is 2 to 6 p.m., 2 p.m. Eastern to 6 p.m. Eastern. So 8 to 10 a.m., 2 to 6 p.m. All right, those are the times that our shows start. So appreciate you being here, brother. Thank you. Rich says, I have a patient at 10:30. Come on, Zay. Rich, what do you do? What do you mean you have a patient? Are you a doctor? What are you doing, Rich? I'm interested. I like Rich. Rich has good comments. Although Rich is enticing. Rich Rich entices me to spend money. He's always in here talking about Kangos. He's in here talking about the shoes I like that I didn't get. I mean, Rich is rich. That's why he wants me to drop $500 on those shoes. I can't do it, Rich. And they keep going up, Rich. Now they're going back up. They were dropping for a little bit. All right. Phlebotomy and physical exams. Nice. I don't know if I said that right, but appreciate you, bro. Well, Fredo, what's up, my boy? Hope you're doing good. Steve Ike, I wake up to 365. That's what we're talking about, Steve. Steve, appreciate you, bro. All right, appreciate you. I think we've had some pretty good off-season shows. I really do. I know it's kind of a boring time. The other thing that is inevitable, okay, as Eagles fans in the off-season is it's just not as fun. The off-season is not as fun when you win, okay? It's not as fun when you win at all because you just – what do you break down? You know what I mean? You know, what do you have to fix? You know, the climb ends. So at the end of the day, you're figuring out how to pass time at the top of the mountain is really what's happening. All right. So it's not as fun. The offseason is not as fun. All right. When you're champions, but we are champions, and that's the reality of it. I'm having fun this offseason. I don't know if you guys are. I'm having fun this offseason. I think there's still a lot of great storylines, great questions, great things to talk about. A lot of stuff going on in the sports world. You know, the one thing I love is, I'll get the Pumper super chat. The one thing I love is I have been so much more like in tune with all the sports because of doing this. You know what I mean? I was always in tune with sports, but you know, you're not covering it. You're not talking about it. You don't watch it as much. So right now I've watched every Phillies game so far. I've even been watching some Sixers recently, as hard as they are to watch. Okay. Good Lord. No, I'm definitely in touch, and the Phillies look great. I'm enjoying watching the Phillies. I've always been a baseball fan, so I do love watching baseball. Brian Pumper checks in, and he says, Zander, take back that Sydney comment. That was uncalled for, sir. I won't tolerate that type of cap. Brian, I didn't say she wasn't a gem. I just said I think there's a little bit of – I think you've been hoodwinked, Brian. I think you've been hoodwinked by the knockers. Maybe that's not the right word. Maybe that's unchristian-like of me. All right, I take it back. You have been hoodwinked and bamboozled and led astray by something. Anybody else can come up in their mind with what that is that hoodwinked you? But I think I know what it is that hoodwinked you, okay? I think she's solid. I mean, come on, bro. It ain't top. It's not top tier. It's not top tier. I'm not going there. The proper word, yeah, I'm not going to go there, though. This guy says he's taking Margot. Pumper. All right. Listen, Pump. You are free to agree. You're free to agree or free to have that take. Okay. If you want to say that she's elite, go for it. Certainly not. I mean, bad. All right. 10 RAS GTFO Xander. Listen, Pump. One thing I love about you is that you have an opinion and you stick to it, brother. I think that's a good trait. All right. It's a good trait. Stick to it. Stick to it. All right. The knockers. Yeah, I like that word too, SMD. I think that's the right word for it, especially on her. All right. Let's get out of that tangent. Now you guys are gonna get me in trouble. You guys are gonna get me in trouble here. Just kidding. I don't get in trouble. The only person who can get in trouble or get me in trouble is me. All right. We're gonna do some Eduardo brings up one of my favorites. Okay. Oh, Joe Whip, your wife had a hole-in-one on Tuesday. That's dope. I've never had a hole-in-one. Joe, have you ever hit a hole-in-one? I'm doing some legend love today, Brandon. We got some legend love. All right. I know it's time. You're right. We got some legend love today. Actually, we're going to have legend love all week. All right, I'm going to have more legend love tomorrow. No, Joe. Yeah, me neither. No luck for me. Your wife got lucky before you. You hate to see it, but I guess you love to see it at the same time. All right. Brian Pumper the third. Oh, my God. Brian Pumper, you got a problem with me. You got to take it up with the third of you. All right. This guy took your name. He took your thunder, and now he crapped on your take. Sydney's like my ex. Right. 4 in the face. You got to be kidding me, man. You guys had me cracking up. All right. You guys got me cracking up. My boy Rich. What up, Rich? All right. I need Rich to buy me them brick by bricks, Rich. All right. I need them. Oh, Abe, I wanted to show you let me show you. See, Abe likes those. Abe, my boy Abe, who's one of my favorites. Abe, love you, Abe. I like the way Abe thinks, and he's my boy. Abe, so you like the Kango, the Ventair Kango, the hat. These are sick. They're dope. They're excellent hats, especially summer. All right. So I got a bunch of them, Abe. I got a couple colors. All right, and they're fire. I got 4 of them. I got the gray, or I don't know what it is, charcoal maybe. These are all sick, by the way. All fire. Rojo, for any Spanish-speaking person, all right? You got the red. Love the red. Got to go Kelly. All right, got the turf green. Somebody commented yesterday after the show, and I missed their comment on the how is the turf green, they said. The turf green's excellent. All right. And then I got beige. I'm not a fan of beige. I got beige. I don't love it. All right. I don't love it. I do need a Kango intervention. No, I don't, Joe. Green, red, and black. Was that your guesses? I like that orange one yesterday. Yeah, the orange is fire. All right. Orange is fire. Yes. Yep. That's what those are. That's why I don't like this one as much, Flex. This is just a regular cotton baseball hat. See? It's nice. It's a nice hat. Nice hat. Solid. But I love the Kango material. I always tell people, not everybody can pull off a Kango, but boy, when you put on a Kango, there's nothing like it. You get something goes through your body that you feel the power. Yeah, the material is amazing. It's the Ventair. It's great. Kangos are very well made hats. That's one thing I do love about them is their quality. They're very quality hats. I love that. I love that about them. Mesh. It's Ventair. Yeah, the mesh Ventair. You're telling me it's mesh. I mean, I got 40 of them behind me. I got 10 on the wall. I got another 40. You see that tall rack right here? Kangos. What's that down there? Huh? Look at this rack of Kangos. Like, are you kidding me? How many Kangos is this right here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. This is 12. Right there. There's 10 on the walls right there. I mean, come on. All right. You got another, what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 right there. This guy's telling me what material my hat is. I think I know what material my hat is. Okay. Jalen had the leather Kango. I've been looking for a leather one. I was telling Flex this, all right? I was telling Flex I've been looking for the leather one. I don't see it, man. I don't see it. I can't find him. Yo, Brandon. Let me look. Look, Brandon. Look what I got. I got it. No, I'm still trying to get Josh B. Josh B, I didn't forget about you. Don't worry. Well, look at these shirts. I got a couple of these shirts. Should I give these away too? These are NFC champion shirts. Maybe I should give these away. What is this thing? Like a 2X? 3X? There you go. I got another one of these. I forgot I had these. Medium. There you go. NFC title, though. They're not as fun. What's this? There you go. There's another NFC one, black. All right. Got that. Forgot about those. Those are fun. There it is, Brandon. There it is, Brandon. Still in the packaging. Still in the packaging. I'm not going to show the label. Look. Let me cover your address. Oh, it looks, I think your address is covered. Returned for export compliance. All right. There it is, Brandon. Wait, you guys, let's look, because I bet you there's a Z note in here. I'm out of Z notes, by the way. I got to get more of the let's free the Brandon jersey. All right. There is a Z note in here. Oh, man, Brandon, this was all you, bro. You were supposed to open this, not me. Not me. Look, you got the Z note in there. Come on, Brandon. See, I love Brandon. Brandon's one of our best supporters. Like, Brandon, why do you gotta live in Canada, bro? Canada? There's my Z note to Brandon. Brandon, you want me to read it to you? You want me to read it to you, Brandon? Damn, Zia 3X. Does it ship in 2 separate boxes? No, Rich. Brandon. All right, here's my Z note to Brandon. I'll read it to you guys. It's kind of corny, this one. You know, depending on the viewer that wins, my Z notes change drastically. All right. Like, you know, Prince was like, oh, I'm Macho Prince. I don't want a Z note. So I had to write him a macho one. Like, I had to put some curse words in there. I had to go macho for Prince. Brandon is not as macho. I said, Brandon, what an awesome addition to the channel you have been. Can't thank you enough for all your support of the channel. Enjoy this DeJean, Kelly, and black jersey, and let's go get this Super Bowl, brother. Go Birds, Big Z. There you go. Boom. And what do? We got the Super Bowl. All right. Brandon, I don't think I want to give this jersey away. I think I want to give it to you. I just got to find a way to do it. I mean, I spent the $40 to ship it and it didn't even fucking go. All right. Cooper DeJean, pick 6. Brandon deserves this jersey. Brandon, you know, Bob Brown's been dogging me for this thing. He wants the jersey. He wants Kelly green or Kelly in black for Cooper DeJean. I'm like, Bob, I don't think I can do it to you. I don't think I can flake on my boy B. Howard. I just don't. I don't think I can do it. All right? I don't think I can do it. He does. I got to figure out a way to get it to him. I mean, it's not my fault you live in Canada. When are you moving to Philly, Brandon? I thought you were moving. I got another jersey here. Did somebody win this? Did I not send a jersey? I know Josh B, if you're out there, I owe you a jersey, but you won the Saquon. I owe Josh B a jersey. I'm 3 sizes too big for him. So I'm trying to get him another jersey, but I got this. This is a Cooper. Yo, guys, Cooper can't change his number now, right? He's become a legend in 33. Well, he intercepted a pick 6 on Mahomes in a Super Bowl win. Like, people used to wonder if he was going to change his number. There's no way he can change his number now, right? I'll take Saquon in a large. No, I don't have a large. Yeah, Philly native, you're in, brother. So he's new to the channel, all right? So Philly native, because you're a channel member, all right, all of our giveaways are for channel members. So we did a bunch during the year, bro. I gave away, I don't know, how many jerseys do you guys think I gave away? I have a list of it, all right? My list is enormous. It's probably 70 names deep of winners of some sort, whether you want to salute the service, hoodie, jerseys. We gave away like 30 Saquon jerseys this year. So we do it for all of our members. So if you're a member, if you're a paying member of the channel and you support the channel, so you can see anything that has like the emblem next to it or the green names, or in some cases they're blue if they have a wrench too, like Eduardo. All right. Those are all people who are supporters of the channel. All right. So I try and do as many giveaways as I can to give back to those people, because at the end of the day, I could come up here every day and talk to nobody, but y'all show up and you guys make the channel happen. So I do appreciate it. And the giveaways are just my way of, you know, trying to do what I can to give back and thank you guys for being here. All right. So I appreciate it very much. Bird Gang Girl, you know, you're a legend. Thank you so much for that. That support really goes a long way. I hope you know that. So I don't know, if you're like me, you know, I try and support like the things that I support. If that makes sense, financially. Like, I watch YouTube channels as well. I'm a YouTube guy like you guys are. I get off YouTube from broadcasting on YouTube at night. You know, my way to decompress, I watch some YouTube. All right. I watch some YouTube. So, KCA, you didn't get a Z note, bro. I'm out of them. So I didn't tie up the sending it, but KCA, I will send you your tracking number. I sent all those out. All right. Let me check on them, actually. Let me make sure. Yeah, they're all on the way. Casey, I'll give you your estimated delivery real quick while you're in. You don't get a Z note though. Sorry, bro. No Z note for you. No second Z note for Dank. No Z note for Chip Snyder either. Okay. All right. This is the only one. Let me check KCA. Saturday, April 5th, it says. All right, brother? Saturday, April 5th is your estimated delivery on the post office. Okay, KCA? So Saturday, looks like you're going to get your Super Bowl shirt. Sorry about your no Z note for you. All right? Now I'm upset about my boy Brandon Howard. I mean, I want, I got to get B Howard something. I got to get him something. All right? And I do have, I have this one more coupe. One more coupe. This is a 2XL. 2XL. So maybe we'll give that away at some point. All right. Okay. So maybe we'll give that away at some point. All right. Z notes are goated. They are. Everybody loves the Z notes. JAKIB merch doesn't get Z notes because it doesn't come from my house, Dank, or my studio. It comes from the factory. So I order it. It's made to order. It's printed to order. So that's the problem with that. All right. That's the problem with that. Yeah, you do, Rich. Prince said the same thing. Where's Prince? Prince has been busy. He did reach out to me, though. He's still listening. But Rich says, everybody who's been here longer than Rich and Philly native. All right. How many people said they don't want Z notes? How many people? And then they get the Z note and they love the Z note. They love the Z note. All right. And they should. Here's the thing. All right. And I don't want to toot my own horn. That's not why I do it. But I will say this. It would be very easy for me to make the giveaways transactional. Okay. How many members can I get? How many things can I give away? Okay. I could make it like that. I could put no thought into it, but I do because I try, I want to nurture a great community here. So I try and put thought into every giveaway. I don't just, giveaway, send him it, make sure we get the money he paid the channel and move on. That's not what I do. It's not the point. It's not the point. I could make it super transactional, but I don't. All right. I want to make them personal. I want to thank you personally for supporting the company that I spend all of my time and money on. And I think it's worth it. Ooh, cheeseburger does sound good right now, Rich. I got these cheeseburgers for that coupe jersey. All right, Native, what do you got for me? All right. What do you got for me, bro? I could use a cheeseburger. Brandon, what's up, Brandon? Oh, man, sorry. John's not here anymore, so he's not going to be able to respond. He says, replying late, but John is wrong, man. Nobody would care about pushing if the Eagles weren't elite at it. If the Eagles lost in the wild card round, there would be no call for the play to be banned. Brandon, I happen to agree with you from a sense of if the Eagles weren't successful about pushing, we would not be talking about pushing this offseason. But it's kind of a catch-22, Brandon, because the only way anything ever gets talked about is if it happens. That's the point about Brian brought up about Pumper brought up about the down the field penalties. Well, nobody notices until you run RPOs. So the Eagles were the first RPO heavy team in a long while, and they started noticing it. So I mean, there's a little bit of both sides there, but I don't disagree. I do think it's a little Eagle slanted. All right, I do. All right. All right. Thanks, bro. People's champ. I like that. Menace to Society, Z. I'm guessing you never watched it. Philly native. I'm not a movie guy. You'll learn that. All right. You will learn that. Oh, SMD. SMD, man, this is crazy, bro. She says, I got some nori sea salt seaweed snacks for a jersey. How's that sound, Xander? SMD, you want me to be nice or you want me to be honest? All right. That sounds like the worst. That sounds like the worst trade in the history of trades. That sounds like I got fleeced like I was Mickey Loomis and I just got off the phone with Howie Roseman. Okay. That sounds like I just got fleeced by Roseman. You're Howie in this situation. I'm every other GM in the league. Seaweed snacks? SMD, I love you, and I'm sure they're great. Do I look like the kind of guy that wants to eat seaweed? I have a great palate. I'll eat anything. One thing I will not eat, SMD? One thing, anybody want to guess one food I cannot eat? Obviously, I have my preferences, but I can eat anything. Like I'm the type of dude who will show up to dinner. Somebody makes dinner. I'll eat it. I'll eat anything. All right. What is one food I will not eat? I will pick it out of my food and put it on the side of my plate. What is the one food I will not eat? Not broccoli. I'm not a fan of broccoli, but I won't pick it out. Pork, no. I'm on pork. Bang! SMD nailed it. Boom. Boom. Spinach. Spinach and kale. Bang. Onions to share. I literally eat onions all. Dude, I love onions. Come on, man. Onions to share. My mom's 100% Italian. My mom's 100% Italian to share. You know, she makes the best pasta sauce in the world. I'm not a picky eater. I'm right. It's wrong. Spinach and kale are disgusting. Literally gross. Lewis says, godlike. That is disgusting, Lewis. They're terrible. They don't even taste like food. In fact, whenever I eat it or whenever it's presented, you know what I say? Who got the rabbit food? We have rabbits at dinner tonight. Who got the rabbit food? So my mom makes pasta sauce, though. Let me tell you. And she obviously, if you're an Italian, you put an onion in your pasta sauce. It gives it a lot of flavor. First thing I do is I get the onion right out of the pasta sauce. I'll eat that thing top to bottom. All right? So good. Flexen, I guarantee you would like it, bro. Now, you don't have to eat the onion. It's to flavor the sauce. It's to flavor the sauce. Come on, man. Onions, they're good for your testosterone too, Flex. I'll eat raw onions. I don't care, man. I love onions. What? Abe, I just told everybody a little bit ago how much I loved you. You're on my shit list. You're on my shit. Balsamic is disgusting. Balsamic vinegar is maybe one of the greatest things ever invented. In fact, in my kitchen right now, I have regular balsamic. I have fresh balsamic from when I went to Lake Placid. All right. And they had like this, little balsamic store. I got the raspberry balsamic. We got pomegranate balsamic, pineapple balsamic. I like the regular the best, but say what a dick. Sig Lord, you're now a dickhead. Sig Lord says anybody who says they like Scrapple is lying to you. Sig Lord, I love Scrapple. When I was a kid, my mom used to get mad at me. All right, we would go to my grandmother's house every Sunday for dinner or for breakfast after church. All right, went to church, grandmother's house at mass every Sunday growing up as a kid till I was 16, 17 years old. Okay, every Sunday, my nana would make big plate of Scrapple, pork roll, bacon, all the breakfast meats, and then eggs. My mom would get mad at me because my plate would have eggs, Scrapple, bacon, whatever else, toast, whatever you want to call it. First thing I would do, eat the entire plate of Scrapple. My mom would say, eat your eggs. I don't want my eggs. I want Scrapple. Eat your eggs, Xander. I don't want my eggs. I want Scrapple. Scrapple is incredible. And you can only get Haberset. You can't get any other Scrapple. Yeah, eggs are healthy. I know. William, I'm telling you right now, we don't need any help on how to cook our Scrapple. Our Scrapple is A1. Perfect, William. Perfect. Our Scrapple. Okay? I don't know. Well, Fredo, I'm not the cook in my family, bro. I don't cook, all right? I don't cook. I don't cook for my girlfriend. My girlfriend cooks for me. If I'm at my mom's, my mom cooks for me. If I'm with my sisters cook for me. I'm not the cook, bro, all right? I don't try and be. I know people like to criticize me for it. Whatever. I'm not the cook. The only thing I can really cook is I can grill a steak. And I can get out the Blackstone and cook some stuff on the Blackstone. I like to cook on the Blackstone. Outside of that, I'm not the cook in the house. All right, let's do some giveaways. See, I like this Kelly one, Abe, because people normally call for me to put on the Kelly green regular Kango, when we're messing up on the giveaways. So now we got another one. Now we got the regular hat, which is dope as well. All right, so love the green one there. That's good stuff. All right, Taylor Hammer, you're gay. Taylor ham's good. Pork roll, but yeah, go off. All right. Fettuccine Alfredo. I more prefer red sauce, but you do you. All right. Alfredo is, it's good, but it's like, I don't need cream in my sauce. I mean, I like it, but it's not my top. It's not my top dog. Yeah. There you go, Dank. That's the only cooking I do is people in the chat. Who was I cooking earlier today? What shitty takes they were about the Sixers? I mean, hey, listen, I'm a Sixers fan. I'm not happy with the state of the Sixers right now, but guys like talking like the Sixers don't have a sick organization. I mean, it's a very storied franchise. Sig Lord says, Xander, what is your cheese of choice in a cheesesteak? You want to take a guess? All right. Sig Lord, I want you to know this. Okay. My choice of cheese in a cheesesteak is swayed very much by one thing. Okay. And this is it. I grew up in a home that was all home cooked meals. Okay. Even when we were down bad and we were broke, my mama made 2 pounds of pasta to feed the kids. Okay. So always ate home cooked meals. Always, my whole life. It's always what I've been privileged and blessed to be able to have that. Okay. I don't eat out a lot. I never ate fast food as a kid. I never ate McDonald's, any of those things. I just wasn't what we did. Okay. When I get a cheesesteak, it's my one time to become a glutton. Okay. Become a glutton and go full fast food cheesesteak, nasty, greasy cheesesteak. So after learning that, what do I get on my cheesesteak? None of you, come on. Yes, Rich. It's whiz or bust. I'm not getting a cheesesteak with American because I can eat American anytime. I know whiz is nasty. That's the point, Chuck. I don't eat enough nasty food. I don't eat fast food. I don't need any of that stuff. So when I get a cheesesteak, give me the whiz. Load it up. I love whiz. I love it. No, it's not horrible. It's excellent. Cheese whiz is plastic. Yes, I agree with that. Whiz wit. Extra onions, extra cheese, baby. Normally double meat too, but a lot of places now they charge you for 2 steaks if you do double meat, which is just stupid because it barely fits in the roll anyway. Provolone, trash on a cheesesteak. Cheesesteak doesn't taste the same without whiz. All right. Doesn't taste the same without whiz. All right, what should I give away today? Maybe I should give away this 2X Cooper jersey to a legend. Maybe I should give away this Cooper DeJean 2X jersey to a legend. All right. William says, yuck, waste of a cheesesteak. Well, William, we all got our own preferences. I'm going to Skinny Joe's soon. But I'm going to Florida this weekend. Oh, don't remind me. Don't remind me. I've become a real creature of, I like to be in my damn studio. I like to work from here. I get too much work done in the day. The success of this company relies on the work I do on my computer day in and day out, the postings and the metrics that we gain. I'm very upset about leaving. I'm leaving not only this weekend. I'm flying down Saturday. I got my nephew's baptism on Sunday, which I'm the godfather of. So I got that. Then I got to go to Southwest Florida for my girl's birthday is the following Saturday. And she wants to spend it in Florida. Now I got to stay in Florida all freaking week. I got to work next week on a remote location without my tools, without the things I need to be successful. Got to make do. But I ain't happy about it. Let me tell you what. I'm not happy about it, man. I am not happy about it. So I'll be in Florida next week. I'll be in Florida the whole week. All right. I have my Z-Note frame. Chuck, I love to hear that, brother. Chuck is one of our great viewers here. He won, I think he won the shirt, right? And I upgraded Chuck to a Saquon jersey. All right. Adapt and overcome. There you go, vulnerable. That's what I need. I don't drink, Rich. I'm not a drinker, bro, so I don't need any IV for. Well, I'll take an IV of vitamin C and D and B or whatever works, but I'm not a drinker, so it won't be for that reason. It won't be. Look at David, poor thing. I know. I'm complaining. Listen, it's Xander time. All right, it's my time to complain about some shit if I got to, if I have to. Okay. Yeah, they won't let us, bro. They won't put Fran on. They won't let Berman on anymore. They won't even let John Marks. John Marks doesn't even work full time for them. He has a part-time hour show with them, and they won't let him on JAKIB. I'm like, what? He's been on before. I have a complete different approach, running JAKIB. I really do. Like, I think this old school approach of like, don't let them go there because, you'll help them. Like, bro, what? All right. There's other channels like that, I don't know. It's an old school approach, but I don't think it works. I really don't. I forget about it being weird. I don't think it works. Like, I think you can get better. Your own company can get better by allowing everybody to go out. I would never tell Celia or John, nope, can't go there. Don't do that hit. What? That's stupid. Stupid. Little do they know they would get more views if they let their people come on here because then we would promote their own channel. But, hey, Z, that handwriting, yeah, I don't have good handwriting. You know what they say about men with good handwriting, though? There you go, Brandon. Sell it up, bro. Z, then you be Oprah. You get an interview. All right? It's all good, man. It's all good. All right, I'm going to do a giveaway here now. I know, I've told you 4 times. Welcome to Xander time. This is what happens. I got 80 day people distract me in the chat. It's a whole lot of fun. And Flexen is back, so, he's got me distracted. Flexen, I will say, I did a couple of giveaways, and you weren't here, and we sorely missed. Get him out of here! So, it was needed. All right, let's do it. I'm going to do this Cooper DeJean legend. This is a legend giveaway only. So if you're not a legend member, you have no chance at winning this Cooper DeJean jersey. All right, it's Cooper DeJean. It's 2XL, and it's Kelly Green. And if you're a legend and you win it and you say, I don't want it, it doesn't fit me, I have no use for it, whatever, that's fine. You can say that to me. I'll work something out with you. I have a box of Eagles merchandise right there. A box. There's 40 shirts in there and hats. We'll come up with something. So let's do this Cooper DeJean first, which is funny because I just found it this morning. I forgot it was here. Cooper DeJean jersey for legends. Okay. I love my legends. So thank you all, legends. Bird Gang Girl, if you win, here's what I'll do. It won't fit you. That's fine. All right. I'll do something for you. If you win it, Bird Gang Girl, I know. What did you say you wanted, Bird Gang Girl? Isn't there something that you wanted badly that you were trying to get? Dank Jimu, you're cutting into my Demon Slayer binge. Don't care, Dank. You're going to have to lock in. All right, brother? This is Xander time. Networking, them old heads slow. They really are, SB Ricky. No, but here's the problem, Ricky. The guy who runs PHLY is not an old head. The CEO of PHLY is actually pretty impressive. He's raised a bunch of money, went a different route. I would never raise money because I don't want to answer to somebody. The entire point of me doing this is that I'm my own boss and that I don't have to answer to people. All right. I'm not a go with authority. I didn't like teachers growing up. I always knew since I was a toddler, since I can remember, I'm going to be my own boss when I grow up. So I would never raise money, but he's not a. Well, Bird Gang Girl, if you win, I'll do something for you, all right? WWE can't keep me away too long. Yo, Flex, good to have you back, bro. We missed you. We missed the get him out of here. Mesmerized said, I may not be a legend, but I'm legendary. Yes, you are, Mesmerized. Yes, you are. I love it. I love people with confidence. Be confident in life, all right? Everybody should be confident in life. Even if you don't feel like you should be confident, I promise you should be. All right? Donnie, nice, bro. Yeah, he's a boss, man. He's a boss for sure. Can you get Greg Cosell? That'd be great. Casey, I'll reach out. I'll see if he would do that. That would be pretty cool. I'll tell you what, Inside the Birds has become pretty, they don't like us either. It's funny because like we had great relationships with all these people. Nothing ever happened to them. They don't, I don't know why they're all so against like putting people on JAKIB. They're threatened. I don't know why they're threatened. I don't see them as a threat. I want to make JAKIB better. I don't give a shit. All right. All right, let me get this member list. Sorry, I got to go through it. Kale is not good in any form, in any way, in any shape, in any meal, in anything at all. Kale is certified trash and should be fed to rabbits and rabbits only. Anybody who says otherwise has bad taste buds. Kale is disgusting. Flexen, if you eat kale, I will be judging you. I will judge you. I'll still love you, but I will judge you. All right. Kale is diabolical levels of disgustingness. I legitimately hate kale. It's gross. Where's my sort option? How did I sort this thing? Come on. Where's my sort? There it is. Sort. Current level. There you go. All right. Legends are in. It's a legend day. Gotta love the legends. 47 legends. Pretty good. All right. Pretty good. Thank you all for being legend members. Oh, hell yeah, Wilfredo. I love it, bro. SMD, me and you have opposite taste buds. He said, he says, going to Philadelphia 2 times a month, Zander. I got a big promotion. Wilfredo, congrats, bro. That's awesome, man. That is really dope, man. And you're going to come to the best city in the world 2 times a month. That's dope. All right. That is dope. I got some family love coming, Abe. Don't worry. Kale is amazing. So is spinach. Sounds like an undeveloped palate right there. Oh, I love SMD, but sounds like an undeveloped palate. Shit's nasty. Shit is a nasty. Yeah, everybody drop a congrats for my boy Wilfredo. You know, the other thing Wilfredo needs, though, you know, the promotion's good for him and all, but guy could really get help on his jump shot. He struggles immensely at pickup hoops. Really struggles, man. So, you know, congratulate Wilfredo on his promotion, but send some prayers up that, you know, something starts clicking on the jumper because he's really struggling. He's really struggling. Wait a second. All right, here's our legends. 47 of them. All right. 47 strong. Cooper jersey. Confirm. 1 shuffle. SMD, I eat everything. Stop. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Clary boy. Clary boy. I haven't seen Clary boy in a bit, man. I haven't seen Clary boy. Thank you, Sig Lord. Perfect comment. Only people with a developed palate can appreciate the nuances of Cheese Whiz. Woo! You're right. Sig Lord, you're right, because that's my approach. It's not that I think Cheese Whiz is the best thing ever, but I eat other cheese enough. If I'm going to get a cheesesteak, make it the greasiest, cheesiest thing ever. Flexen, you eat broccoli and kale for dinner. So, maybe stick out of this combo, bro. All right. Clary boy. I haven't seen Clary boy in a while. Wait, what happened? All right, here's what I'm going to do, because I don't know where Clary boy's been, and I don't have a way to contact him. I don't think, actually. He might be on Twitter. But Clary boy is going to have a week to get to because I always give legends. Legends don't have to be here because they pay a lot, obviously, to the channel. so they don't have to be here. But what I will say is he's got a week, all right? Because I already have one dude who won last week, and I reached out to him on 3 DMs, and he hasn't responded to me. Maybe he's just not on Twitter, or he's not, out there. He's off the grid a little bit. But I had a legend winner who won. He won the hat and the shirt, and he still hasn't reached back to me. So the other guy reached back to me, but one of them hasn't. So, you got a week. I think that's pretty fair. If I can't get in touch with you in a week, I'm going to give the jersey away to someone else. All right. In a whole world of unknown cheese. Now, my favorite cheese, if I'm eating cheese and crackers, or what do you call them? Charcuterie board. I like I'm giving them a week, SMD. I'm giving them a week. Emrys is, I like Toscano. I like sharp cheese. I like sharp cheese. Toscano is my favorite. The black pepper Toscano. Love that one. Scrapple and eggs over easy. The best. Ooh. Scrapple. I'm dreaming of Scrapple right now. I love Scrapple. Sharp white's good. Sharp cheddar's great. I like a lot of cheeses. I don't love cheeses that are too sweet. I've never been a sweet cheese guy. Now that's an undeveloped pat. All right. No, I don't, SMD. If you saw what I eat in a week, you would not say this. All right. Cheese is only good with pizza. That's a basic Becky palate, or whatever you call it. Basic Becky. Gouda's too, it's okay. I don't hate it, but it's not my favorite thing in the world. Come on, man. What's going on here with this? All right. We got our first winner. It's Clary Boy. I don't know if he's going to claim it or not. If not, we'll give away this jersey next week. All right. Let's do another giveaway. I'm going to do. All right. I'm going to do. I don't eat ranch with wings. It's blue cheese with wings. Come on. Stop. Sharp provolone is good. I just don't get it on my cheesesteak. All right. Let me do. I'll do one more legend winner. It's not the jersey, but it's going to be the hat and shirt of your choice. All right. I got this big box of hats. All right. I got this big box of, these are Super Bowl shirts. We know this. I've showed you them all. All right. And then I got the hats. All right. So I got the hats here. All right, so we got the Super Bowl hats. Got the parade hat is one of them. And I got 5 of these. So I got a bunch of these Super Bowl hats. All right, and then you're going to get a shirt as well. So this legend giveaway will be for one of the shirts and the hats. And again, if something doesn't work, the idea is to get some people stuff that they're going to use. So if it's no good, just please let me know. I'm all good with it. Believe me, I don't take it like, you're needy or whatever. I want the stuff to work. That's the whole point. I spend money on it. I spent $1,000 on this box of merch. I want it to go to people who are great supporters of the channel and who are going to wear it or use it. Maybe you give it to a son, a daughter, a kid, a cousin, a uncle. Doesn't matter to me. Just as long as you have a use for it, it's not going to collect dust. I'm happy with it. All right. So the hat, I love these green hats, by the way. I might have to keep one myself. All right. Because I don't have a classic Eagles green hat. I was saying to myself, well, where are my Eagles green hats? I got the champion one, got the Super Bowl one. I got that black one there, which is black, gray. This one's black. I don't have a classic green Eagle hat. And this one with the Super Bowl logo that says champions is just extra fire, I think, at least. All right. So we got those to give away. Let's do that now. So shirt and hat Super Bowl combo for the legend. All right. All right, here we go. I don't have any either. Yeah, that's probably true, Dirty Air. But I have the stuff to match it. Come on, I got some stuff to match it. I got fucking 10 pairs of shoes right there that have different colors in them. Anthony Davis, you got to make sure you get the right Scrapple. Are you getting the right Scrapple? There's only one brand of Scrapple that's purchasable. This is why when you're at a restaurant or you're out to eat, you never buy scrapple out to eat. They make it too thick. They don't cook it right. It's not good scrapple. You don't do that. If you're a veteran scrapple eater, you make it at home. All right. You cut it nice and thin. Gets crispy. All right. The best. Haberset scrapple only. It's Haberset or a bust. Okay. Haberset or bust. Well, making their own might be all right. Little Pete's has the best fucking scrapple. I don't know what Little Pete's is. All right, here we go. One shuffle for the boy, Jalen Hurts. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Vulnerable vitality. Let's go, vulnerable. He was in here earlier. He dropped the super chat today. There he is. My Mizzou fan. This was an hour ago. I hope he's still here. Vulnerable, you still here, brother? If he's not, it's all right. It's a legend, so there he is. There he is. Yes, that's a legend spin, Rich. We're doing a regular spin next, all right? 2 legend winners today. Let me write down Clary Voy, and now I'll write down Vitality as well. I got my list of new season winners. All right, it's already 5 deep. It's now 7 deep with Vulnerable Vitality. All right, he gets legend hat and shirt. Vulnerable, we'll pick your shirt in a second. Just give me a second, brother. Clary Voy won the DeJean 3-3 jersey. All right, I'll run that by him if I can get in touch with him in the noon. You already know this is good, bro. You're all good, Vulnerable. He won a Saquon during the year. All right, but Vulnerable. You're good, man. You're still winning this, bro. I already said, Vulnerable, all of last season's giveaways. And Texas T, can you remind me of something? Texas T, I was looking through my list. Did I forget to get you something? Did you win a JAKIB merch giveaway that I didn't send you? And you can roast me if that's true. Because I think it might have happened. I have my entire list of giveaway winners and I do a check mark next to them once I checked it off that I sent it. And the only name I have left outside of Josh B, who I know I owe him the jersey, is Texas T. Now I know you won the 2 hats, Texas T. But did you win a JAKIB merch that I didn't send you? I knew it. Texas T, I deserve a roast for this. Okay? You are entitled to roast me for 2 weeks, and I can't lash back. Okay? What did you win? Because I don't even have it written down. That's how you know I got sloppy. Everybody else, I wrote down what they won. Texas T, I got Texas T. There's nothing next to it. I got sloppy. This is my fault. Okay? I apologize, Texas T. I'm happy we got this worked out. And I will make good on it. In fact, I'm going to include a little extra for it. Texas T, what was it? Was it a Stout U thing? Let me look. Did you email me or anything? Forget how we communicated because I know you won the hats as well. And you remember I think you're in Texas, obviously. Your name's Texas T. And you were like, hey, bro, it's like 95 million degrees in Texas. I'm probably not going to wear a beanie. So I sent you the regular hats, I think. Just remind me what it was. All right. I apologize for that, Texas T. That is not cool. Okay. Very cool. All right, Texas T. I'll get you a Stout U thing. I'll send you a couple. I'll send you a JAKIB care package. All right. And I think I already have your info. I think I already have it from DM. You DM me on Twitter. Is that where I got your info? All right. Where's my boy Vulnerable? Where's he at? Yo, Vulnerable. Which hat do you want? Take your pick. I was going to keep the black hat, but I think I'm going to give it away. So you got your pick, bro. You're the first legend to win the hat that was here. Which hat do you like? And then we'll pick your shirt as well. You can have this black one. It's got pink. I know you might not like the pink. Maybe you're a pink guy. It's got the Eagles logo, NFL logo on the back. It's a snapback. And this is the hat they wore at the parade. All right. So this is an official Eagles hat. They did wear it at the parade. I find it to be very dope, but I wear Kangos. I'm a more eclectic dude. If you don't like pink, that's fine. No, it doesn't hurt too much to give away at all. Vulnerable. I happily send you this hat. All right. Boom. There you go. Good pick. The black Super Bowl parade hat has been claimed. And then now, what shirt size are you, bro? What shirt size are you, Vulnerable? I got to send these out because I'm going to be in Florida next week. Okay, XL. So let me look at what I got XLs. I think I have. Okay, so I have the two signature shirts were an XL already got claimed up. I had two of those. I have the on-field one. So this one, this was the one they wore on field after they won. I have this in an XL. Actually, is this an XL right here? Yes, this is an XL right here. I have the one that says "Got the W." Where's that one? This one, "Got the W." See that? I have this in an XL. All right. Yeah, Vulnerable has two accounts. He's still a member. No, he's not a gray. He's not a gray. He's got two accounts. We've already looked at this. He's got two accounts. One of them's a legend. That's why he's still in my list. Trust me. Believe me. I double check my list over and over again. I'm not letting anybody win who canceled their membership on us. Vulnerable. Do you like, what else do I have? Got the W, on field one. I have the Heather Gray one that says champions. I think it's this one. Yeah, this is an XL right here. Super Bowl champs. It's got the little gray logo up there. All right, what do you think? What do you think? I got three options for you. Got the W. Done. Okay. This is Vulnerable Vitality's package. He's got the W shirt. Got the W there. Boom. Still in the packaging. With the Super Bowl parade hat. I love this patch right here. That's a patch. That's not a sticker. It's a little patch. It's got the Super Bowl logo on it. Love that thing. All the tags still on here. There you go. Vulnerable Vitality. I love you, brother. And this is only fitting because Missouri got smacked. Let me put this aside. Put it over here. All right. Good order there. Good order there for my boy Vulnerable Vitality. All right. Well done. Vulnerable, thank you, bro. Vulnerable, do I have your info then? Now I'm back in ML. I was going to say, I didn't think I shipped to Philly for you. Vulnerable, just refresh where you sent me the, okay, Twitter DMs. Yo, can you refresh it? Just because I literally have thousands of DMs. So I'd have to scroll through for a long time. Just go and refresh it. So if the address is already there, you don't have to send me the address. I'll pull it from the DMs. All right. Just go and refresh that DM for me, bro. Just say what's up, bro. And I will, I'll check on that. All right. So let's bring up our giveaway picker again. All right. All right. Let's do, now we're going to do undo this sort. Here we go. We're way over here. 3-hour show this morning. All right. There we go. There's our list of names. 343. All right. This winner is going to get a shirt. Shirt and hat or shirt. Super Bowl shirt for a member. This is our 343 names who are members. All right. Again, I want to personally thank each and every one of you guys. Means a lot that you guys support the channel. Means a lot. You stick here every day. You chat, you comment, you like, you share, you subscribe. You spend $5 to be a member. And if you're a legend, you spend 25. If you're a family member, you spend 10. All of that goes a very long way in helping keep us on the air. Obviously, media is not the easiest business, everybody, especially when you have payroll. So we got Sills, we got John, we got a lot of other things going on here. So your support does go a long way, and I do appreciate it. All right, I appreciate it very much. So thank you all. Thank you all. All right, let's do this. You got to be present. Okay. Now we're not in legend territory. We got to be present. No, it's not. It's not 150 for that hoodie, by the way. You guys talking about that Hurts hoodie? Thought it was $75. A Jordan hoodie for $75 isn't crazy. Okay, it's not crazy. Hoodies have gotten expensive, man. Even the ones on my site. The reason I don't make any money on the merch on my site, it's basically like $4 more than I pay for it, so that you guys can get it at a good price. Merch prices are crazy. $150 resale. I'm not buying no fucking resale. $150 resale. Come on, that's sweatshirt's good, but there's not even Eagles green in it. It's red. That's one thing I didn't get about it. All right. So I like it. If I grab it at retail, maybe. If not, I'm out. On StockX, it's selling on StockX. Yeah, come on, I'm out on that. Rather get a pair of shoes. $150. All right, here we go. 2 shuffles. Now we'll do 1 shuffle for Jalen, and you must be present. You must be present to win. Oh, wait, I didn't do the shuffle. Let's stop it. Bad luck. Bad luck to not do the shuffle. Bad luck to not do the shuffle. 1 shuffle. There it is. Start. Let's go. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lou Branch. Louie, are you out there? Yeah, StockX has a lot of fakes, SB Ricky. That's why I don't buy them on there. SB Ricky, I want to get the bricks, but that's a problem. I don't know. Do you trust GOAT, SB Ricky? Like, if you're buying resale, what are you buying on? GOAT, eBay? Apparently, eBay's authentication's better than GOAT and StockX. I don't know, though. Dude, Crowley, story of my life, dude. Story of my life, Crowley. I got so many freaking sweatshirts. It's ridiculous. Yeah, I have bought pairs of shoes from GOAT. They've all come good. I bought this pair from GOAT. These are the 80. These are my favorite Jordans. I wear these with anything. Like, you're going to Florida, you can't bring all your shoes, is what I bring. These are the 85 neutral grays, but this is the 85 cut. So if you're into shoes like me, you know that they released the neutral gray like a couple years ago, and then they released it in the 85 cut, and the 85 is so comfortable. And I think it's better leather. These are my favorite kicks, though. I got these from GOAT. I got those from GOAT. Now, I wasn't a skater. I know Kith. I don't have anything Kith, but I know Kith. Yeah, the walking shoes are cool. The comfort walking shoes, the Jordans. I saw them. Yeah. Yeah, SB Ricky's got some nice kicks. I remember you sending me the picture of you in your new. Yeah, you got the Carter jersey. That was sick. I love the Carter jersey. But I remember you rocking the Jays in the Carter jersey. Let's see. What pair of shoes would SB Ricky like? Nah. I don't have anything as dope as you, Ricky. I got my mochas back there. I got the mocha lows. I like those a lot. I'm a big threes guy. I like the threes. I want to get a pair of white. What do they call it? The reimagined white cements. And I want the black cements too. When I was a kid, here's a story. This is what made me like shoes when I was a kid. When I was a kid, all right, and I was playing hockey, we weren't. I didn't grow up. My parents tried to do a lot for us, so we never had extra money. My dad was working 90 hours a week to make sure that all his kids could do, their sports and the school and everything like that. So we didn't have extra money. So every year would be, at the end of August, my mom would take us shoe shopping and we would get a pair of shoes. We'd go to the outlets and we would get a pair of shoes from Nike or wherever you liked. So the one year I went to Nike, the outlet, they had a pair of Jordan 3, black cement, the original, back when they came out. This was, I think, when they came out in like 07 or 08 or something like that, the re-release of them in 08, maybe it was. And they had a pair at the outlet. And I'll never forget, I had to convince my mom to buy me the black cement Jordan 3s. And I got those shoes and I treated those things like they were my babies. I wore them everywhere. I beat them to shit because I only had one pair of shoes. So I wore them everywhere. But man, I love those things. Wore them to all my hockey games. I loved them. Jordan 3, black cements, my first pair of Jordans. What'd you get, Ricky? Because I wanted the Navy 4s, and I wanted the brick by bricks. Those are the only two recently I think I've really wanted. I passed on the Obsidians last week. What'd you get, Ricky? I don't like them, Rich. I don't like the AE ones at all. Flex, I do love Jordans, man. I just think they're great shoes. I really like them. Always have. Always have. And the ones have always been. One lows have always been for me. I'm waiting to see what Ricky got. Is Lou Branch isn't here. Lou, you're done. All right. Let's do another winner. You got to be members. Oh, nice. You got the unions. You know, SB Ricky, you're not going to like my take on those. I'm not as high on them. I'm not as high on them. I do like them. Personally, I'd rather just have a pair of Chicago ones, but they are nice. Union makes good shoes. SB Ricky, I have the blue Argon. What were they? They were like Argon unions back in the day. They released those. They're pretty sick, honestly. I don't wear them much, but they're sick. Let me pull them up for you. Union, the Dunk ones. Yeah, these. Union Dunks. I got the Union Dunk, the Passport Pack Argon. Yeah, they were nice. OG Black's nice. All right, here we go. Bro, I get distracted by anything. You guys have learned this. We'll talk about cars. We'll talk about shoes. We'll talk about anything. All right. Did I just show you? Oh, I just had it up. I didn't even realize I had goat on the screen. Yeah, I had the Dunk. The Dunk Union. I like those. Crowley to each his own. I do get why people are like, why do you like sneakers? It's just one of those things for me, Crowley. I get why people don't like them. I get why people like them. I've always loved them. But look, I'm a guy that wears hats every day. You know what I mean? Like, I'm kind of into that stuff. I like it. But the Kale Force ones, that would be an MRAS thing right there. All right, let's do another winner. You got to be present. One shuffle. Start. Sneakers are like rims on a car to me. I don't know, Abe. I'm a little stingier about rims, man. I got to really like my car to get nice rims. 2, 1. Chris AM. Come on. Come on. Come on, Chris. SB Ricky, same thing, bro. Same story. Bro, same story for me in terms of, I get that one pair. I got one pair of shoes a year. Beat them to shit. I got the Jordans those first year. I felt like I was walking on clouds every day. And then from them, once I got a little older, I'm like, I'm going to buy myself a nice pair of shoes, man. I like to have a nice pair of shoes. All right, Chris AM. Is he here? You guys remember Chris AM? He's the one who dropped in like $150 in Super Chats the one day. Lucius becomes a member. I thought Lucius was already a member. Maybe you upgraded Lucius. I don't get tax refund, Abe. I got tax bills, bro. I'm self-employed. I don't get tax refunds, dog. All right? I don't get tax refunds. I got bills. Believe me, it's April. I already called my accountant last week. I said, file the extension. It's already filed. I'm good till October. All right? I don't do tax. I don't get tax refunds. All right? Wait, let me make sure Lucius is on here. No, he's not. Let me add you, Lucius. Thanks for re-upping, bro. Abe, I'm not surprised at that. Keep that coin, brother. The government ain't doing anything good with it anyway. Lucius, the show added. Lucius, thank you, bro. Love you, man. You know I love you. One of our best supporters here. All right. I call him the JAKIB bodyguard. That's what he is. All right. Lucius is the JAKIB bodyguard. Appreciate you, Lucius. Thank you, bro. Lucius and Jeff Bone, the Bonehead, all right, are my two JAKIB bodyguards. The JAKIB bodyguards, baby. Oh, what do you upgrade to? All right, here we go. Start. Let's go. Got to be present. One shuffle. Start. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Broad. There's my boy Bonehead. Broad, are you out there? Broad, are you out there? Come on, we got to be present for this winner, man. No winner here if you're not here. No winner if you're not here. Broad, are you out there? No, I know bro JD3. JD3 says who to everybody. Come on, bro, JD3. I know all these people. Not Broad's media. I like Broads, though. I think Broads does a good job, man. Broads a cool dude, man. I've always liked Broads. He, an interesting story about Broads is he used to work with JAKIB Reyes back before he really made, built his name up, back when he was interning at 97.3 ESPN with Mike Gill in South Jersey. And he used to do work with JAKIB as well, and then he kind of went big time, which is good, man. I'm happy for him. No, he's not a trader. He's a cool dude, man. I like Broads. He'd probably come on because I think he's part-time. Maybe I'll get Broads on. I'll try and reach out to him. I don't mind Broads. I like him. Yeah. No, it's not Broad from WIP. That's not who this is. No, it's not Broad from WIP. This is a different one. All right, here we go. New winner. Come on. I'm getting hungry. Not for kale, but I'm getting hungry. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Derek Pointer. Sounds like an NBA player. Sounds like an NBA player. Yeah, he does have a lot of energy for sure. He's very loud, but I like him. Look, everybody's got to have their own style, If you don't have your own style, regardless of what it is, you're not memorable. Nobody remembers you. All right? Salad and a nap. I don't nap and I don't. No, I like salad. So you guys got me wrong. I like salad, but it's got to be made with balsamic. Abe would. I'd throw Abe out of the house. Doesn't like balsamic. Who the fuck doesn't like balsamic? Are you crazy? Balsamic. Derek Pointer is out. Which part, Crowley? Did you say you got to have your own style? Yeah, look, part of my style. I mean, obviously when I speak, I have my own style, but my aesthetic style is defined more recently by my Kangos. It's one of the reasons I like it is because even if you think they look stupid, which I'm sure some of you do, and I don't care, even if you think they look stupid, it's memorable, right? You can say, who's that one? Oh, the dude who wears those goofy ass hats. Memorable. You got to be memorable to people. There's a lot of content out there. Ranch. Mike says ranch on the salad. Mike, I hate ranch. Ugh, ranch. I don't hate it. I'll eat it, but a fucking ranch. Ugh. All right, Derek, you're done. Point guard Derek is done. Start. Confirm. One shuffle. Start. 4, 3, 2, 1. Tyler Connors. Come on. I'm going to have to switch to the green hat, Abe. I'm going to have to pull out the green hat. I might have to pull out the green hat. We only got 213 watching, so I don't know how many are members. Get him out of here. Brandon, don't let him question you, bro. All right? You be confident in what makes you you, bro. Be yourself. I always tell people that. Don't let them put you in a box. Don't let anybody put you in a box, regardless of what it is. Later, Casey. I appreciate you, brother. It's time. Oh, there he is. Holy shit. Tyler, you're here. Let's go. Hopefully I didn't shit talk you before I could see you were here. Holy shit. Tyler out of nowhere. Tyler from the rafters. Tyler, what's up, my boy? All right, Tyler, what size are you, man? I got a shirt for you. Let me write down your name. A certified winner. Our new winners, we're already up to 8. How many winners will we have by the end of 2025? 100, 150, 300, 200, 400, 600, 1,000? Who knows? Depending on how big JAKIB gets is how many winners we will have. Tyler Connors is a winner. Tyler, what size shirt are you, brother, so I can give you some options? A medium or a large? Oh, I think you're going to be in good shape, Tyler. All right. Medium or a large. Okay, you have the pick of the litter. You're going to have basically any shirt you want. Except, nope, you'll be out. Yep. All right, so you're going to be able to get medium or large, but what medium be better? Okay, that's what I was looking for. Well, you got to tell me which one would be better. I always laugh at people who give me 2 sizes. You're like, yeah, come on. I need 2 sizes. What is this here? All right. Let's share this up. All right, here we go. Check it out, bro. So the hat is gone. We only had one of those. Congrats to Vulnerable Vitality. All right, this shirt, see it? With the helmet, Super Bowl LIX champions. I got that in medium. I have the signature shirt in large, if you like that, okay? I did not get the signature shirt in medium, and the 2XLs are gone. So signature shirt is in large. I have a small in the signature shirt, not a medium. Medium, that's large. You could get that if you like a large. Medium, I have this one, the heather gray, and I have the gray one that has the 4 games in the playoffs on the back. I happen to love that one. Chip Snyder got that one. So I have those. And if you want a large, there's some more options for large. Tyler says, thank you. Never thought I'd won. I'm here talking to the wife and I hear my name. Let's go. All right. Tyler wants signature large. Great pick, Tyler. So you got signature large. Boom. There it is. There it is, bro. The signature shirt. There's your size large. And boom, incoming. Boom. We're going to put this just like this in the package, and it's coming to you. Okay, by the way, who won today? We have 3 winners today. Clary Voy, Vulnerable Vitality. Vulnerable, I already have his info. Tyler, now I just need a way to get your information to send you it, all right, bro? So if you want to email me, that's good. If you want to email me, that's good. You can email me at Zander@JAKIBmedia.com, or you can DM me on my X or my Instagram. You can DM me on my X or my Instagram. Just let me know, Tyler, which one's good for you. I got to get out of here. I'm getting hungry. Boys got to go eat. Well, I will not be eating kale or spinach. Okay? No kale or spinach for me. I'll email. I don't do socials. Perfect. Tyler, email me up. Tyler, if I can request one thing from you. I know you're a busy guy. I'm not trying to press you. If you could do it quick, that would be great, because I'm going to try and send these today, because I'm going to Florida on Saturday, and then I'm going to be gone all week next week. So I'm not going to be here to ship any shirts. So if I don't get your information before tomorrow, I will not be shipping your shirt until 2 weeks from now. All right? Zander got to go work on that shot. Well, Fredo, you're dust, bro. I can hoop. Well, Fredo, if I didn't play hockey as a kid, because anybody that played hockey knows, I mean, if you play hockey, it's a lifestyle. You can't play another sport. You can play another sport, but you can't commit to another sport. All right? I'll get it to you in about 10 minutes. Tyler, perfect. Congrats on the win, brother. Thank you for your support of the channel. It means a lot. Good stuff. I forget where my train of thought was. Sorry. But I'm going to be out of here. Oh, back on the shot. Yeah, I would have played hoops if I didn't play hockey. And I would have been good. I was good without being able to practice a lot. All right? You guys talking about coffee? I drink my coffee with cream. That's it. Extra large from Dunkin' right here. Cream. All right, that's going to do it for the show today. Appreciate all you guys checking in. Congrats to our 3 new winners. Vulnerable Vitality, thank you, brother, for the legend support. Clary Voy, thank you, brother, for the legend support. Tyler, just drop in the email, address, and your name. I have your name, Tyler Connors. I'm assuming that's your name. But I always get worried about names. I had 2 people now get rejected because of a wrong name. So, just send me your name and your address. That's good. And I already have written down what you got. Signature shirt. So all good on that front. All right. Come on, Z. Got to be Wawa. Chuck, you don't miss Wawa. Trust me. Wawa is not good anymore. Wawa got way worse. I promise that. It's not the same. Wawa back in like 2016. Oh, my God. I'm a Dunkin' guy. Yeah. Dunkin' only for coffee, though. I don't get anything else really from Dunkin'. Get that kale and a nap. All right, Reyes, I'll do it. I'll do it in honor of you. Okay. Yeah, Wawa fell off big time. No doubt. All right, good stuff. Appreciate you all. Love you all. See you coming up at 2 p.m. on the National Football Show. I hope to see you all there. If not, see you next time, everybody, on Birds 365.
You've been listening to Birds 365, the destination for the passionate Eagles football fan who bleeds green. If it's Eagles football, we're talking about it. Debate, inside the locker room, and guests that are some of the greatest football minds from around the region. We hope you enjoyed the show. We know we had a blast. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll be back soon. But in the meantime, hook up with us on social media at JAKIB Sports. See you next time on Birds 365.